Ram Temple being, entering the campaign, and we also saw the Congress's focus on caste census increasing. What, according to you, would be the best highlights of this campaign?
Yes, Vasudha, the high decibel level campaign of both the parties, BJP and the Congress, will end today, and we are just outside the media center of BJP here in Bhopal, and it will tell you that now the students are busy in preparing for the exams. And first, I think we should talk about the campaign a bit, because again, Shivraj Singh Chauhan topped this list with more than 160 rallies and road shows. Can you imagine? 10 to 12 rallies and road show per day on an average, followed by the PCC chief and Chief Minister Kamal Nath, around 114 rallies and road shows. Prime Minister also held a massive road show in Indore yesterday, and day before yesterday Rahul Gandhi in Bhopal. So Prime Minister also addressed around 15 rallies in Madhya Pradesh. But as you said, likewise the Prime Minister himself sharpened the attack on Congress, and because they did a massive tribal outreach. So basically they have said that Congress has always cheated tribals in Madhya Pradesh, because remember Madhya Pradesh is the largest, we have the largest tribal chunk in India of tribals, and then the Congress maintained that their government was toppled by purchasing the MLAs of the Congress. And they also sharpened the attack on Jyotiraditya Scindia, because it was, Jyotiraditya Scindia and his loyalists left the party, and that's why Kamal Nath government fell. So basically both the parties targeted each other, saying in par bharosa mat kijiye, inhone hamari sarkar ko giraya, things like that.
Right. Thank you, Anurag, for joining us with those details. So we also have Amitabh Tiwari, political analyst, joining us. Amitabh, this campaign also saw the biggest promise of 2024, free ration by the centre to the poor till 2028. And we saw the BJP being focused completely on projecting a collective leadership, reducing internal fault lines, while the Congress was relying on faces like Bhupesh Baghel and Kamal Nath. And the Congress is also talking about implementation of PESA and forest rights and caste census. How do you see this campaign, reaching out to people? Will people choose the BJP over the Congress, or collective leadership over a strong leader, or vice versa? What do you see? How do you see this, sir?
See, in terms of strategy, both the parties have flipped their strategy, as you've mentioned. So a party which used to bank on a presidential style election like the BJP is now talking about combined leadership. Whereas Congress has defeated BJP from 2014 to 19, if you see the states, in none of the states Congress had declared their CM face. And Congress has now moved to a presidential style election. So this is a change of strategy, and we'll need to see whether which party's strategy is working on the ground. That's number one. In terms of the main focus of both the parties, BJP realizes that economy is a pain point, because if you see across surveys, unemployment, price rise, and poverty are the top three issues. Now, to negate or neutralize these, one of the schemes which is fairly popular and fairly betterly implemented in that sense is the free ration scheme. So the free ration scheme has been extended up to the next 5 years, and that benefits almost 80 crore people at the national level. So that helps the BJP in tapping its Labharti vote bank and neutralizing some of the economic distress after COVID. See, while people realize and accept the fact that the incomes have fallen, they perhaps don't realize that with these schemes, the expenses of the poor people have also declined.
Right.
So that sort of neutralizes this.
Right.
And then talking about the tribal rights, the Congress is trying to woo the tribals, because in MP and Chhattisgarh, 47 and 29 seats are ST reserved seats. The Congress won 30 and 26. PESA, Jal Jangal Jameen, atrocities against SCs, STs, these are the focus points. On caste census also the party has focused a lot, but I think on the caste census point, I don't see it working on the ground, because the party has not promised or not implemented what they are promising in their ticket distribution list. The number of OBC candidates which they have announced is fairly abysmal compared to the Jitni Abadi Utna Haq slogan. So that I think is not working, and we'll have to see who
Right.
who emerges a champion of this.
It's a very important point. We also have Abhilash Khandekar, who is a senior journalist with the Lokmat Media Group. Mr. Khandekar, when you look at Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, both states actually lag much behind the national per capita income. But when you look at the welfare schemes, they all seem to be looking at instant gratification of voters. So is neither of the political party actually bothered about fiscal management? Is it not something that they are concerned about?
What you're saying is right, because when they talk about only fiscal management, they have also not charted out their clear vision plan for development of the states, whether it is Chhattisgarh or Madhya Pradesh, in the next 5 years. Because in both states, actually in Madhya Pradesh, the BJP has been around for last 20 years, barring that 15 months. So their manifesto was, while they are banking upon Modi's guarantee, the first point in their manifesto again talks about सब गरीब परिवार को मुफ्त राशन और रियायती दर पर दाल सरसों का तेल चीनी एमएसपी के साथ बोनस 2,700 क्विंटल प्रति क्विंटल गेहूं और 3,100 प्रति. So the point I am trying to make is that instead of taking the state out of the morass of backwardness, the leaders are again falling back on on moving the votes through subsidies and freebies. So in the Abdul Kal Shobhu, that the expectation of Congress to take the state to a level where Maharashtra or Tamil Nadu or other states are doing. So we continue to be in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. They are still the Vimaru states, and the leaders are again going out of their way to empty the state exchequer, and on the basis of the state exchequer's money, they are buying votes before the elections. So whatever is being said by Congress in the sense of caste census has been started, or the correctness has been disturbed by the Bihar Chief Minister. In Madhya Pradesh, there is no such a declaration by any party so far. Of course, Rahul Gandhi has been saying that within 2 hours, of course he said it in Bastar, that within 2 hours of Congress coming back to power, we will declare the caste census. But apart from caste census, the focus seems to be in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh is on Modi, and the state leadership of BJP is far behind. And in Congress, Madhya Pradesh has relied mainly on Kamalnath and Vipin Singh, both are aging leaders.
Right.
But on the ground, we see that BJP is fighting a battle with the back to the wall.
Right. Mr. Tiwari, that's something that I wanted to talk to you also about. So the BJP campaign, like Mr. Khandekar was also pointing out, is largely driven by the central leadership of the party, whereas, of course, the party is optimizing its use of the PM's popularity, and understandably so, because these states really voted for the PM in the Lok Sabha elections. Now, the Congress, on the contrary, is driven by regional leaders, hyperlocal factors, like what we saw in Karnataka. How are people looking at the contradictions in the two campaigns, sir?
So see, if you see BJP's campaign from 2014 to 2023 in the Modi era, wherever the party has been in opposition, it has never declared a CM face, except for Delhi 2015 and Assam 2016. So in continuation of its strategy, which has worked in the past, because out of 14 elections where the BJP was in contention and excluding the northeastern states, the BJP has won 8 and lost 6. So by positioning Narendra Modi as the super CM sort of, the party has been seeking votes and promising to the voters that Narendra Modi will appoint a custodian who will run the double engine sarkar. So this has worked for BJP in opposition ruled states. So that's why there is no CM phase in Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh and Telangana. Now we come to Madhya Pradesh. In Madhya Pradesh, normally where the party has CMs, the CM is believed to be the CM face. I mean, this strategy of saying that he is not the CM face doesn't normally work. And we have seen this in ratings also, that Shivraj is still popular and he is leading the charts. In Madhya Pradesh, I would say it has gone for a cocktail sort of a strategy, wherein it has also put the local candidate in the focus. 3 months before the poll dates were announced, it announced candidates. That's number one. The CM is also in focus, sort of, because they have not announced him, but he has done 160 rallies, as you've mentioned. And then there is the Prime Minister also, who is seeking votes in his name, trying to lure the undecided or the neutral or the swing voters or the voters in the rural areas and in the urban areas 3.2% of people voted in the name of Narendra Modi in 2018. That looks like a small number, but in an election where the vote share gap itself was 0.1%, that's a huge number in itself. So it's
Right.
a mixture of all the three, the local candidates, CM face and PM face,
Right, Mr. Tiwari.
working on
Yes.
MP.
Yes, thank you so much for making that point. Thank you, Mr. Tiwari, and thank you, Mr. Khandekar, for joining us. So that was our panel on the highlights of the campaign that ended in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh today. Clearly, collective leadership and welfare seem to be the catchwords. Moving on, Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot began Wednesday with a cryptic "Together Winning Again" post on X that appeared to offer his former deputy and current rival Sachin Pilot an olive branch ahead of the next week's assembly election. A photograph shared by Mr. Gehlot showed the two in a meeting with others from Congress party, including General Secretary K.C. Venugopal. The Gehlot-Pilot feud over the chief ministerial post broke soon after Congress defeated BJP in the 2018 election. It simmered for 2 years till Mr. Pilot and around 30 loyal MLAs walked out of Rajasthan and into BJP-ruled Haryana, sparking speculations that Mr. Pilot was prepared to join the BJP. Although this rebellion was squashed, Mr. Gehlot and Mr. Pilot have often been taking indirect barbs at each other. My colleague Harsha joins us from Jaipur. Harsha, will they, won't they? That has been the speculation. So finally, 10 days before election, Mr. Gehlot has put out this tweet. Is this truce finally happening, or is it just a projection of a working relationship? What do you think?
Well, you know, politics makes strange bedfellows, and definitely I don't think they want to be in that position, but they have to be, because, you know, Ashok Gehlot has realized, and so has Sachin Pilot, that look, this election is being fought on Ashok Gehlot's face, on the basis of his social welfare schemes. He is the incumbent chief minister. But at the same time, the High Command is backing Sachin also. He's the youth face of the Congress. He's the leadership that you're looking at in the next 10 years. And he's comes from the Gujars, a very, very significant, politically significant community in Rajasthan, because they can swing. Like the Jats, they can swing this way and that way, and that's why they can make or break an election. Now remember, what's the subtext of this meeting? Well, this meeting happened in the war room late last evening, but Rahul Gandhi is here to be with his mother, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi. They're all here in Jaipur. They're here because Mrs. Sonia Gandhi has been advised to get away, apparently, from Delhi and the pollution. But Rahul Gandhi, sources tell us, is working the screws on everybody. He's saying, guys, get going, pull up your socks. I need more Josh in this campaign. And apparently this morning also he's taken some, off-record meetings, talking to people and asking them to campaign together. So actually, we will probably see Sachin Pilot and Ashok Gehlot also on stage together. Sachin has actually spent a lot of time in Madhya Pradesh also campaigning. There he did that last elections, but this election also he's been there. So clearly Rahul Gandhi here pushing them together, and that's one reason also why this late night meeting happened in the war room in Jaipur.
It's a very interesting detail. Harsha, stay with us. Rahul Gandhi in Jaipur, of course Sonia Gandhi also in Jaipur, and clearly pointing to the newfound truce between Ashok Gehlot and Sachin Pilot. Moving on, as campaigning in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh closes, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has turned his attention to Rajasthan. Mr. Modi is to address an election rally at Baitu in Barmer district this afternoon. This is the second election meeting of the Prime Minister after the announcement of election in the state. Meanwhile, Congress leader and Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot will also address election meetings in support of party candidates at 3 places today. Harsha joins us again. Harsha, Barmer, very interesting district, always seen to mirror the state's tradition of voting out the incumbent. It's always said that Barmer's voters hold the MLAs accountable. So explain to us the significance of Prime Minister's visit to Barmer on the day the campaigning ends in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh.
Yes, absolutely, because, I was telling you about the swing voters. Now, if you understand the swing voters in Rajasthan, you will understand how this election actually works and why caste arithmetic is so important. So if the Gujars actually swung around to the Congress last time, the Jat vote, which is Barmer, is Jat heartland. So, your Rajput vote or your Brahmin vote may not swing that way, but the Jat vote is really always up for grabs. And they have swung and made an election and broken an election. Many times in Rajasthan. Now, Barmer in that sense is Jat heartland, very significant Jat population. And out of the 7 seats there, 6 are with the Congress. Only 1 seat, Sivana, is with the BJP. So that's why very, very important. He's going into where Harish Chaudhary is. Remember, Harish Chaudhary is very close to Rahul Gandhi, Jat leader of Western Rajasthan. Also Hema Ram, who's not, fighting that election, close to Sachin Pilot. So somewhere the BJP wants to make inroads. And that's why Baitu, it's a little away from Barmer. Baitu has been chosen because they are looking at that crucial vote bank, which could swing this way or that way. And the Prime Minister has several more rallies planned. He's going to be coming to Bharatpur, he's going to be coming to Nagaur. Again, Jat, Heartland seats. So I think what the BJP is very strategically looking at is these swing votes, which could, that little swing will make all the difference. Remember, the vote share was only 0.53%. That was the difference between the Congress and the BJP. So this election could go any which way.
Thank you, Harsha, for joining us with those details. My colleague Harsha Singh making an important point that the BJP is looking very critically at the swing votes. Remember that Rajasthan is a state of low margin victories. So clearly the BJP trying to amp its efforts there. Meanwhile, today on the last day of the campaign, as the PM was in Jharkhand launching a mega welfare program for tribals, significant as they form a very important chunk of voters in both Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh. On the occasion of tribal leader Birsa Munda's birth anniversary, he travelled to Ulihatu in Khunti district to unveil a rupees 24,000 crore scheme for the particularly vulnerable tribal groups, also called the PVTGs. The mission, first announced in 2023-24 union budget, is aimed at improving the socio-economic condition of the PVTGs. In Madhya Pradesh, the Baiga and the Bharias are the largest PVTG groups among the ST community. Baigas are also the second most populous PVTG group in India, and they are scattered across the forests of Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. This group relies largely on forest cultivation, cultivation of forest produce and fishing for sustenance. The Prime Minister's tribal outreach is particularly significant as MP and Chhattisgarh get ready to vote on Friday. Both states have a significant tribal population. In fact, MP has the highest tribal population in the country, and many tribal-dominated ST seats that had voted against the BJP in 2018 in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh had voted for the party in the 2019 Lok Sabha elections. Time for a short break. More news and updates on the other side.
NDTV for news you can trust. No sensationalism, no ugly debates, no agenda. We strive to be transparent and unbiased in our reporting so you can get news that you can rely on.
This show isn't just about news from the southern states. It's one that looks at the rest of India and the world from a diverse South India point of view, because NDTV has always taken the southern view seriously.
The Southern View with Veera Raghav, only on NDTV 24/7.
When it comes to sports, we set the ball rolling.
Because we have our eyes on the ball.
Because we want to get you the best.
Latest updates,
Top interviews
and analysis
from around the globe.
We have a surprise for you. We're going to ask a bunch of you some special questions.
Welcome back. 36 people were killed and 19 others injured after a bus fell into a gorge in Jammu and Kashmir's Doda district. The bus skidded off the road at Trangal Asar on the Kishtwar National Highway and fell 300 feet downhill. This is what Jammu Divisional Commissioner Ramesh Kumar has said. My colleague Nazir joins us. Nazir, tell us what really happened. The visuals look quite scary.
Yeah, clearly it is more than 400 feet gorge where it has fallen, this bus. 36 people are already dead. Condition of some of the injured is stated to be critical. 19 people were injured. So one thing is very clear. This bus was overcrowded. It had more than 55 people on board. Number two, what we are hearing, the bus didn't have even the valid permit. Its permit had expired a few months back. Number three, so how was whether if a bus, passenger bus, was without the proper documents, how it was allowed to fly, and there are women, there are men and children who were traveling in this bus. It had started its journey from Pada in Kishtwar and it was on its way to Jammu. when it reached a place called Iyer in Doda, it skidded off the road and fell in a gorge, which is said to be more than 400 feet deep. So immediately rescue operations were launched. Injured were evacuated and shifted to hospital. Condition of the 19 injured, condition of the 6 to 7 is stated to be very critical. This is the deadliest road accident in the recent times. Jammu and Kashmir is witnessing frequent road accidents. In last 8 months, there have been more than 4,000 road accidents and over 500 people have died. But this is the worst road accident in the recent times in Jammu and Kashmir. Now the investigation will reveal what exactly happened and how this accident happened. Was it a rash driving? Was there a brake fail? And also what we are hearing, the bus didn't have, this passenger bus didn't have the permit as well, necessary permit, which had expired several months back. So most of things, while the government has been saying it is dealing with these road accidents, trying to minimize them, we have been seeing road accidents or rise in Jammu and Kashmir, and this is the worst.
Right. Thank you, Nazir, for joining us with those details. Moving on to Uttarakhand rescue operations, a fresh landslide hampered efforts to rescue 40 labourers trapped in an under-construction tunnel in Uttarakhand for over 70 hours. Rescue officials had spent hours preparing the platform for the auger drilling machines to insert steel pipes through the rubble, but a landslide last night forced them to dismantle the machine and start work on the platform again. The drilling machine would have helped to create a passage for the labourers to come out of the tunnel, which collapsed on Sunday morning. Officials said around 21 meters of the slab blocking the tunnel has been removed and a 19-meter passage is yet to be cleared. Several workers are protesting at the rescue site over the delay in getting the trapped labourers out. My colleague Kishore Rawat has this report.
लगभग 74 घंटे से ज़्यादा का समय हो चुका है और 40 जिंदगियां अभी भी निकलने की आस लगाई बैठी हुई है कि कब वो बाहर निकले और प्रयास लगातार जारी है। मैं आपको कुछ तस्वीरें दिखाऊंगा कि सामने एक तस्वीर है कि ये टनल कैसी है और टनल में ऊपर मलबा किस तरीके से है। पहले तो वो सामने देख सकते हैं कि वो टनल का रास्ता है और हम इस वक्त ठीक टनल के ऊपर मौजूद है। इसके नीचे से टनल जा रही है और लगभग अगर हम वहाँ से पैदल चलने की बात करें तो लगभग हम 100 मीटर से ऊपर पहाड़ पर पैदल चलकर आ चुके हैं। आने का मकसद सिर्फ यही है कि जो बार बार नीचे लैंडस्लाइड हो रहा है वो क्यों हो रहा है और कितनी बड़ी तादाद में है, क्योंकि अक्सर लोगों के मन में सवाल हो रहे होंगे कि लैंडस्लाइड हो रहा है लेकिन कितनी तादाद में है। थोड़ा सा जो पत्थर दिखाना चाहूँगा कि किस तरीके से वो मटेरियल पे है। ये थोड़ा मटेरियल ये इस तरीके का पत्थर पे और इस तरीके से चूरा निकल रहा है, क्योंकि हम लगातार जो ट्रक्स बाहर मलबा लेके आ रहे हैं वो इस तरीके का मटेरियल है। ये पूरी तरह से इस तरीके का चूरा अंदर मौजूद है और ये लगातार जो मटेरियल निकल जा रहा है वो इस तरीके का मटेरियल है। लगभग हम अगर बात करें पहाड़ की बात करें जो टनल के ठीक ऊपर है, हम ठीक वहाँ पर मौजूद है जहाँ पर ये लोग फंसे हैं। एग्जैक्ट तो नहीं है लेकिन ठीक उसके आसपास ही है। ये पूरा पहाड़ है। ये पहाड़ अगर नीचे से हाइट देखी जाए तो लगभग ये 200 मीटर से ऊपर पहाड़ है और टनल इसके नीचे से जा रही है। तो समझ सकते हैं कितना बड़ा पहाड़ और कितनी बड़ी तादाद में ये मटेरियल जो लगातार लैंडस्लाइड के रूप में नीचे गिर रहा है ये मौजूद है। और एक बड़ा टास्क है कि इस मटेरियल से निकालकर उन लोगों को बाहर निकालना है, लेकिन प्रयास जारी है और अभी एक बड़ी मशीन पहुंचेगी और वो लगातार इसको ड्रिल करेगी और संभवतः वो लोग बाहर निकलेंगे।
So non-stop rescue operations on in Uttarkashi in Uttarakhand. Time for a short break. More news and updates on the other side.
A cup of hope.
A cup of joy.
Can India lift it at home after 12 years?
We will follow their journey through the length and breadth of the country.
Through every twists and turns.
On Turning Point on NDTV 24/7.
A debate has many facets, perhaps no one right answer. Left, right and centre. Conversations that get to the core of the debate.
And there's too much talking but very little being said. Too many voices but hardly any being heard. You turn to a show that puts you front and centre. A show that headlines the stories of the people, by the people, for the people.
A cup of hope.
A cup of joy.
Can India lift it at home after 12 years?
We will follow their journey through the length and breadth of the country.
Through every twists and turns.
On Turning Point, on NDTV 24/7.
Election in 5 states, 679 seats, over 16 crore voters.
Commercial capital of Madhya Pradesh, Indore, is in Malwa region. In 2018, when the Congress won the state, though narrowly, it was riding high on an impressive performance in this belt. They also seized on farmers' discontent. The Congress is again preparing to capitalize on the rural rumbling. At Ahilya Bai Holkar Sabzi Mandi, it's another day for farmers.
फिर माफ करेंगे, फिर वोट ले लेंगे, फिर कुछ नहीं करेंगे किसान के लिए। लाइट ही नहीं दी हमें पहले। दिग्विजय सिंह के राज में हमारे घर पे जनरेटर रखा है अभी भी।
आप बीएससी कर रहे हैं, किसान भी हैं। किसानों के लिए सबसे बड़ा मुद्दा क्या है इस चुनाव में?
चुनाव में एक तरीके से देखें तो किसान को चुनाव की वजह से मुझे लगता है कि जो फसलों का रेट है वो बहुत कम हो गया है, क्योंकि जो सरकार है वो आम आदमी की तरफ ज़्यादा देख रही है। उनको वोट चाहिए और वो सारी फसलों का रेट कम कर रहे हैं। अगर आप देखोगे प्याज का रेट अभी 8 दिन पहले 50 रुपये था, वही रेट आज 30 रुपये हो गया है।
गवर्नमेंट 25 में देगी, किसान का प्याज 50 बिक गया, गवर्नमेंट 25 में देगी, फिर किसान को कहाँ से मिलेगा? आप ही बताओ।
तो किसान को नुकसान हो रहा है।
हाँ,
किसान को नुकसान होगा ना। अगर गवर्नमेंट 25 रुपये में प्याज देगी और किसान जो लेके आ रहा है यहाँ इतनी मेहनत करके लेके आ रहा है, वो प्याज 25 रुपये से ज़्यादा में बिकेगी, तभी किसान को फायदा होगा। अब 25 रुपये में वो दे रहे हैं
तो सही अगर रेट नहीं मिल रहा है तो फिर क्या करेगा किसान?
किसान क्या करेगा? उसकी फसल को 50+ तो बेच नहीं पाएगा ना। जहाँ 50 में बिक रहा है और ना सरकार 25 में बेच रही, तो ग्राहक किधर दौड़ेगा? 25 में दौड़ेगा, 50 में दौड़ेगा।
तो इस बार जब किसान नाराज है, किसान को लगता है कि उसको ठीक से रेट नहीं मिल रहा है,
खाद भी नहीं मिल रहा।
हाँ?
किसान को यूरिया खाद ही नहीं मिल रहा। 4-4, 8-8 दिन से लाइन में लगे हैं, यूरिया खाद नहीं मिल रहा अभी। वहाँ पर 4-4 दिन से लाइन में लगे। अब किसान खेती करे कि यूरिया की लाइन में लगे, क्या करे बताओ?
तो इस बार चुनाव में क्या किसान फिर
परिवर्तन चाहिए
किसानों को?
हाँ, किसानों को परिवर्तन चाहिए।
कांग्रेस कहती है कि किसान नाखुश हैं, यहाँ पर
खुश है।
कर्जा माफी की बात हुई है।
कर्जा तो ऐसे वोट मांगते हैं कर्जा लेने के लिए। कर्जा माफ कर दें, वोट दो हमें, बस ऐसा बोल रहे हैं। और क्या?
उसके बाद
नहीं किया माफ। कहाँ किया? पिछली बार भी बोला था।
तो किसान को किस पार्टी पे भरोसा है?
जनता पार्टी पे।
क्या किया है?
सब कुछ किया, क्या नहीं किया?
क्या किया है भाजपा ने?
लाइन दी है, सब कुछ दिया।
राजेंद्र जी, इस बार किसानों के लिए सबसे अहम मुद्दा क्या है?
किसानों के लिए महंगाई का मुद्दा है कि महंगाई ज़्यादा है और क्या? वो तो महंगाई ज़्यादा है और क्या? और तो बिजली पानी सब मिल रहा है, लाइट मिल रही खूब सही तरीके से।
Less than a kilometer from here, at the flower mandi, we meet Sunita Pawar and her daughter Roshni. जैसे महिला हैं आप लोग, इतनी सारी सब यहाँ पर फूल मंडी में सारी महिलाएं हैं, ज्यादातर लगी रहती हैं। तो अभी चुनाव होगा तो आप लोग भी तो वोट देने जाएंगी ना? या नहीं जाएंगी?
जाएंगे।
वोट देने जाएंगे?
जाएंगे। वो अच्छा करे बुरा करे, वोट तो देना है। कोई भी है, वोट तो देना पड़ेगा ना मैम। काम छुट्टी करेंगे एक दिन की, वोट जरूर देंगे।
ये बोलते हैं सब लोग कि शिवराज सिंह चौहान ने महिलाओं के लिए बहुत किया है।
क्या किया है? क्या किया है हमें बताया जरा, क्या करा है? हमारे लिए
बहुत सारी योजनाएं हैं।
योजना से कुछ नहीं होता है। योजना तो बहुत सारी निकाल सकते हो आप लोग, योजना से कुछ नहीं होता। योजना दिए जाए, कन्याओं को दिया जाए। आप बोलते हो लाडली योजना, लाडली योजना का क्या मतलब होता है? आप लोग लाइन में लगवाते हो,
महिलाएं जो सुबह से जाती है शाम को घर आती है, इसको लाडली योजना बोलते हो आप?
फिर महिलाएं क्या इस बार सोच रही हैं सरकार को बदलेंगी?
सरकार बदलना चाहिए अभी, क्योंकि हमारे लिए कोई ने कुछ करा नहीं है। सरकार बदलना चाहिए, अब कांग्रेस की सरकार आना चाहिए।
वो जो
Sunita has been selling flowers for 20 years. She says all parties make promises before elections, but most do not deliver.
एक तरफ शिवराज सिंह चौहान लाडली बहना योजना की बात कर रहे हैं, दूसरी तरफ कमलनाथ जी हैं, वो बात कर रहे हैं महिलाओं के लिए गारंटी दे रहे हैं। तो महिला किसके तरफ जा रही है?
महिलाओं की तरफ। मेरा कहने का मतलब है, एक तरफ तो सरकार लाडली बहना के लिए 3,000 रुपए योजना दे रहे, और एक तरफ इतनी महंगाई कर रहे कि टंकी 1200-1300 रुपए की टंकी दे रहे हैं हमारे को। तो हम कमाएंगे क्या? ना टंकी भरेंगे कि लाइट बिल भरेंगे इतना इतना? यहाँ पे हमारी इतनी कमाई नहीं है। हम तो साल हो गए मेरे को, इतनी उम्र हो गई, मैं तो चूल्हे पे ही बनाती हूँ। टंकी महंगाई हो गई तो क्या करें?
सिलेंडर,
हाँ,
गैस की टंकी है।
हाँ, लेकिन गैस का जो सिलेंडर है वो तो मोदी सरकार ने दिया था सबको, महिलाओं को।
हमको दिया ही नहीं मैम, ना हमारा गरीबी रेखा का भी कूपन आया तो नहीं दिया।
सरकार तो जब तक के अभी इनको वोटिंग चाहिए, हम लोगों से, जनताओं से उनको वोट की जरूरत है। जब तक पूछ करेंगे, बाद में या भाजपा या बीजेपी कोई भी आ जाए, उसके बाद जनता की परवाह कोई नहीं करता।
At Arihant Multidisciplinary Institute, these teachers too have similar views, but of course a different perspective.
महिलाएं किस मुद्दे पर वोट करेंगी?
महिलाएं मैम अपने परिवार के सेफ्टी सिक्योरिटी के लिए, जो यंगस्टर्स हैं उनके भविष्य के लिए क्या सोच रही है सरकार, दैट इज गोइंग टू डिसाइड दैट हाउ सेफ इज द नेक्स्ट जनरेशन, दैट विल डिसाइड द वोट फॉर अस।
ओके, सो सेफ्टी ऑफ नेक्स्ट जनरेशन।
इक्वालिटी मस्ट प्रिवेल एवरीवेयर। आरक्षण सब खत्म हो जाए।
अच्छा,
न्यू गवर्नमेंट जो भी आए या जो भी हमारी इच्छा है सरकार से, वो ऐसा कुछ है कि आप एजुकेशन को प्रायोरिटी दो, मुफ्त की चीज़ें जो भी हैं, क्योंकि हम टैक्स पेयर हैं, बेसिकली वी ऑल आर टैक्स पेयर। तो अगर हम टैक्स पे कर रहे हैं और गवर्नमेंट सारी चीज़ें फ्री में ही दे रही है, तो अगर उनके पास इतना पैसा है तो वो हमसे टैक्स ना लें। एजुकेशन बेस्ट करने की कोशिश करें, सेफ्टी पर्पस एक हमारा बेसिक वो रिक्वायरमेंट है ही, सेफ्टी हो, एजुकेशन हो, और कुछ भी ऐसी ही चीज़ें फ्री। तो जनरेशन हमारी पढ़ी लिखी है, तो ऐसी ही फ्री के चीज़ों में हम नहीं।
तो आपको लगता है इस बार कॉम्पिटिटिव वेलफेयरिज्म चल रहा है? भाजपा ने कुछ गारंटी अनाउंस किया, फिर कांग्रेस ने किया, इसी तरह से चल रहा है।
बिल्कुल, लेकिन हमको उसकी रिक्वायरमेंट ही नहीं है। हम चाह ही नहीं रहे कि हमको कुछ फ्री में मिले, हमको क्वालिटी चाहिए। तो आप हमको कुछ भी फ्री में ना दें, क्योंकि हम आपको दे रहे हैं, हम टैक्स पेयर हैं, तो हम आपको दे रहे हैं, तो आप उसके रिवर्स में हमको कुछ क्वालिटी दो।
लेकिन रेवड़ी कल्चर तो प्रधानमंत्री बोलते हैं, लेकिन उनकी पार्टी भी तो रेवड़ी की बात कर रही है इस चुनाव में।
हाँ, तो हम तो उसको अपोज कर ही रहे हैं ना मैम। हम बोल ही रहे हैं कि इस तरह की रेवड़ियाँ ना बटे, मिले, लेकिन जो जेन्युइन है, जो डिजर्विंग है, उसको मिले।
मैं ये कहना चाहूँगी, जैसे कि एक तो बात करते हैं डिजिटल इंडिया की, तो जब आप डिजिटल इंडिया की बात कर रहे हो तो आपको चुनाव प्रचार करना है, तो आप दूसरी चीज़ों को क्यों बिगाड़ते हैं?
जो मुद्दा है महिलाओं के लिए, मुद्दा क्या है?
महिलाओं के लिए मैम इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ मिलना चाहिए। बेसिक है एजुकेशन। अगर महिलाएं एजुकेटेड हो जाएंगी तो 50% जो उनकी प्रॉब्लम है वो ऐसे ही रिजॉल्व हो जाएगी।
वो हमको जागना चाहिए। हमको जागना इसलिए चाहिए कि सामने वाला हमको क्या दे रहा है, आपको स्किल्ड नहीं बनाया जा रहा है, आपको घर बैठे मुफ्त की चीज़ें दी जा रही हैं। उससे जो आपकी चीज़ें, आपके अंदर जो कैपेबिलिटी है ना, वो भी एक टाइम के बाद ख़त्म हो जाएंगी। आप डिपेंडेंट हो जाओगे। तो बजाय कि आप 1000 रुपये दे रहे हो, 1500 की इंश्योरिटी दे रहे हो, उससे अच्छा है कि आप उनको एजुकेशन दो। हर कैटेगरी के लिए आप ऐसा करो कि इतने टाइम तक आपको फ्री एजुकेशन है। आप अगर कैपेबल हो, इससे अच्छी जगह जा रहे हो,
भी यदि कुछ देना है तो उनको स्किल सिखाई जाए। गवर्नमेंट चलाए ना, ट्रेनिंग सेंटर्स चलाएं जहाँ पे उनको कुछ सिखाया जाए, ताकि वो लॉन्ग लाइफ। ये स्कीम कितने टाइम चलेगी मैम? 3 महीने 4 महीने, जब तक चुनाव है तब तक। धीरे से फिर उसको या तो बंद हो जाएगा या कम हो जाएगा, कुछ तो होगा। तो वो जो और व्यक्ति क्या है, 1200 1250 रुपये अकाउंट में आ रहा है, तो एक काम उसने छोड़ दिया, तो वो डिपेंडेंट हो रहा है मैम। मतलब
तो इस बार क्या महिलाएं मध्य प्रदेश की बदलाव चाह रही हैं, या उनको लगता है कि शिवराज सिंह चौहान की सरकार सही काम कर रही है?
मैम, बदलाव इज नीडेड। बिकॉज़ ये सरकार सिर्फ बांट रही है और अब तो ये लाडली बहना से लेडीज़ को बांटा जा रहा है, वो युवा रोज़गार से यूथ को पैसे दिए जा रहे हैं, बट नोबडी इज़ वर्किंग ऑन द लॉन्ग टर्म इम्प्रूवमेंट.
I am at this beautiful institute, which is of great repute, Indian Institute of Management, Indore, to speak to a group of students who are from Madhya Pradesh, because they are also the voters of Madhya Pradesh. What do they have to say? What are their expectations? What are their issues? Let me go straight to them and ask that. What are your issues? What will decide your vote?
I think my vote specifically will be decided on the fact that who promise a stronger future for women also, because we've seen Madhya Pradesh historically has had a low gender ratio and literacy ratio for women. So I think something that promises a brighter future for the women would get my vote.
Is gender also going to be priority for you?
Yeah, for me it's majorly safety for women, because in the past few months there have been an increase in the cases of, assaults against women. So I think that's what we need. It's a need of the hour.
Another woman, let me ask that question.
So for me, definitely women empowerment is a key priority, but also considering the youth, the kind of empowerment opportunities that come up, not just generic, because what has been the case so far, but also specialized opportunity, keeping in mind the talent and skills of the people in Madhya Pradesh.
The key issue in this election would be the equitable development. So far, the development has been limited to few urban centers in Bhopal or Indore. But I believe that there's a need for rural development as well, because as a developing state with a large population, developing the agricultural sector, developing the rural sector can be a low-hanging fruit for the government.
Being a localite, I've seen that the face of CM doesn't matter that much now. It's a team that leads government, not a single person. And if we see even the opposition side, the fractions they are divided into gives a very vague idea what they're going to do with our state. So as of now, if we remove CM face right as of now, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, and that's going to happen anyways because he'll be pulled up in the national politics. So after Shivraj Singh Chauhan, who's going to lead the BJP and MP is a big question.
So, it's not important about the face. So if it was a local election of my city, I would want to vote for the person who will show promise to show development in my area, in my city, be it from any party. If they have a history of doing good work, I want better for myself and the people around me. Same goes for the state. So in the end of it, it matters who gives you the best of the things. It may be a person's face that gets you that, or it may be the promises the party makes.
Election after election, we talk about caste. And people cast their vote as much as they look at their caste when they cast their vote. So how much of caste factor plays?
Denying it is, I believe, utter stupidity, because it's a part of the Hindi belt reach, in fact the entire country per se. If you take caste out of the election, people will be confused what to vote upon. Work is not something...
That's actually a good line.
So yeah, it's a fact that people consider caste and it will not go out of play very easily.
Thing is, as students of IIM, we don't differentiate on the basis of caste. But we do believe that whether a candidate is getting that candidature because he's from that particular caste and is a more deserving candidate not getting the candidature, because the party might think that a person from a particular caste might get more votes from that caste, or they might target their own issues on that basis. So we do believe
you understand the caste dynamics, but when it comes to your own vote, caste will not be
no, not at all.
Many of you are looking at change in this election.
I think won't be exactly correct to predict the results, because that is something that the public will do. But I think there should be change in terms of some policies. Not sure if the change will happen in terms of the government, but yes, definitely a policy change is required.
We were the only city for a while back which had both IIT and IIM. We have good institutions in Bhopal, in Jabalpur. And I think keeping that crowd here, that they do something for their own state. We can't comment on who will be the power, but I think the biggest thing we need to see is a change in the mindset of the government.
इंदौर वासियों को मेरा नमस्कार। मेरा जन्म इंदौर शहर में हुआ है। कुछ वर्ष पहले मेरा इंदौर आना जाना बहुत रहता था, अब बहुत कम हुआ है।
Elections are often about discovering newer sides of older cities. In Indore, I'm at a place which is seen as almost a museum that remembers India's Nightingale, Lata Mangeshkar, every day. And someone who has worked with Lata ji is Shubman Chaurasia. He's here. Suman ji, यहाँ पे कितने रिकॉर्ड्स हैं?
50,000 रिकॉर्ड हैं।
और इसमें लता जी के कितने हैं?
7,500 गाने हैं।
73-year-old Suman Chaurasia describes himself as Sangeet Premi or music lover. He runs this record library in the name of Nightingale of India. He has a collection of all 7,500 songs sung by late Lata Mangeshkar in 26 languages.
लता मंगेशकर के बारे में आपने बताया बहुत ही रहस्यमयी थी।
जी।
तो क्या-क्या रहस्य था जो आपको पता है बाकी को नहीं?
नहीं, अब जैसे कई लोग ये कहते हैं कि दीदी ने 25,000 गाने गा लिए या रफ़ी साहब ने 20,000 गा दिए, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। दीदी ने जो है 7,500 गाने गाए हैं, 26 भाषाओं में गाए हैं।
आप ये नंबर बोलते हैं और दुनिया कुछ और बोलती है, ऐसा क्यों?
नहीं भाई, मेरे पास तो सब है ना, कलेक्शन है मेरे पास तो पूरा 26 भाषाओं का मेरे पास कलेक्शन है।
सारी 26 भाषाओं में। और जब लता जी ने गाना शुरू किया तो सबसे पहला गाना किस भाषा में गाया था?
नहीं, देखिए मराठी भाषा में गाया था पहला गाना, पहली मंगला गोड़। उसके बाद दीदी ने संगीत भी दिया 2-3 फिल्मों में। और एक गाना जो हिंदी का था वो थी आपकी सेवा में, पा लागू कर जोरी रे, शाम उससे न खेलो होरी रे। दीदी ने ये भी तक बताया कि कोई लोग विश्वास नहीं करेंगे कि एक बार दीदी और हृदयनाथ जी और तीनों बहनें साथ साथ जा रही थी मंदिर में। तो दीदी जब आगे जाने लगी तो लोगों ने बोला कर दीदी शेर आया, जबकि हकीकत में कुछ नहीं था। दीदी ने बोला कि नहीं ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, किंतु आप लोगों को जो है, ऐसी कई बातें थी। दीदी जैसे कहीं बॉम्बे से पूना जाती थी तो बाज़ार के अंदर जो गांव रहते थे यहाँ से पूरी सब्जियां खरीद लेती थी, जितनी थी उतनी, और गरीबों को बांट देती थी।
आपकी उनकी डेथ से पहले आखिरी बार कब बात हुई?
जो कोरोना हुआ था उसके पहले बात हुई थी मेरी दीदी से, घर गया था मैं।
दीदी कभी यहाँ पर आई हैं?
नहीं, यहाँ नहीं आई।
यहाँ नहीं आई थी। आपने उनके साथ कभी काम किया?
नहीं, दीदी से मुलाकात होती रही। वो जब दीदी के चरण स्पर्श करते थे तो उसका आनंद ये अलग आता था, कोई अलौकिक शक्ति दीदी के अंदर है। और जैसे मैं गणेश उत्सव पे जाता था तो दीदी के यहाँ पे जो लड्डू खाते मिलते थे, इतना बड़ा लड्डू रहता था वो, और उसका स्वाद आज तक मैं नहीं भूला हूँ।
और इंदौर को लता मंगेशकर कितना याद है? इस शहर को?
इस शहर को दीदी हमेशा याद करती रहती थी। और यहाँ की नमकीन, यहाँ का सराफा बाजार दीदी को हमेशा याद रहता था।
Spread across 15 districts, the Malwa-Nimar region in western Madhya Pradesh with 66 seats holds the key to the 230-member assembly. In 2018, the Congress won 35 of the 66 seats in this region, increasing its tally from 9 in 2013. BJP's score plunged to 28 in 2018 from 57 5 years ago. However, this time the BJP hopes to make up for the losses.
The BJP is going all out in these elections in Madhya Pradesh. 3 union ministers, 4 MPs and a party general secretary have all been fielded as candidates. I am in Indore and I am now in conversation with Kailash Vijayvargiya. Kailash ji, क्या माहौल है?
आप देख लीजिए माहौल क्या है। लोग बहुत प्यार करते हैं। इंदौर में मैंने काम किया है, इस मोहल्ले में भी जब मेयर था जब काम किया है, तो लोगों को विश्वास है कि काम करेंगे। और भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार ने बहुत काम किया। मोदी जी के प्रति लोगों का अगाध विश्वास है। और मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में हम लोग शहर में विकास कर रहे हैं, प्रदेश में विकास कर रहे हैं, देश में विकास कर रहे हैं।
बंगाल में चुनाव लड़ा रहे थे, अब खुद लड़ रहे हैं यहाँ पर।
पार्टी के आदेश का पालन करना है हमें, तो पार्टी ने कह दिया लड़ना है तो लड़ने लगे, और लड़ने के साथ लड़वा भी रहा हूँ। रोज़ दिन में 4-5 सभाएं करता हूँ बाहर जाके, शाम को आता हूँ, फिर अपने क्षेत्र में घूमता हूँ।
और इस बार मुद्दा एक ये ज़रूर दिख रहा है कि किसान नाराज़ हैं। किसान क्यों नाराज़ हैं?
मध्य प्रदेश के किसान तो नाराज़ नहीं, आप और कहीं से आ रही हैं लगता। मध्य प्रदेश में किसान बहुत खुशहाल हैं। मैं किसानों के बीच में ही रोज़ सभा करके आ रहा हूँ और बहुत आशीर्वाद मिल रहा है। ये देख रहे हैं, इसमें से कम 25% किसान है जो मेरा स्वागत कर रहे हैं। इसमें 25% किसान, ये लोग बहुत स्वागत कर रहे हैं, कोई नाराज़ नहीं।
और बेरोज़गारी एक मुद्दा है, महंगाई एक मुद्दा है, इसको कैसे टैकल करेगी भाजपा?
देखिए, जो भी जितना आप शायद आप ही के चैनल में मैंने देखा था कि 2 राज्य ऐसे हैं जहां कम बेरोजगारी है अन्य राज्यों की तुलना में, तो हमने काम किया है भाई। हमने यहाँ पर इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन किया है, लोगों को रोज़गार दिया। इंदौर में हमने 1 लाख लोगों को रोज़गार दिया। TCS कंपनी लाए हम, इंफोसिस कंपनी लाए हम, सोर IT कंपनी लाए, और इसलिए यहाँ पर हमने बहुत विकास किया है। फार्मास्यूटिकल कंपनी कम से कम हम 100 लाए यहाँ पर, जिसमें यहाँ के कम से कम 25,000 लोग काम करते हैं। तो बहुत काम किया है सरकार ने। और मैं खाली एक आंकड़ा बताता हूँ कि मैं उद्योग मंत्री था 2008 में, जब हमारा इंडस्ट्रियल ग्रोथ मात्र 3% था, 4%, आज 24%। हम हर क्षेत्र में आगे बढ़े। लाइट की जगमग देख रहे हैं आप। मैं ऊर्जा मंत्री था जब हमारा उत्पादन 5,000 मेगावाट था, आज 28,000 मेगावाट है। हम सरप्लस पावर वाले स्टेट हैं। तो हमने विकास किया और बहुत साफ दिखाई देता है। हर खेत में हमने बिजली पहुंचाई है, हर खेत में हमने पानी पहुंचाया। आप किस किसान की बात कर रहे हैं? 7 लाख हेक्टेयर में सिर्फ सिंचाई होती थी, आज होती है 45 लाख हेक्टेयर में। हमने सिंचाई के माध्यम से खेतों में पानी पहुंचाया। पर कैपिटा मध्य प्रदेश के किसानों की इनकम बढ़ी है। किसान का नाराज होने का सवाल ही नहीं।
कमलनाथ जी का कहना है कि वो कर्जा माफ़ी करेंगे। आप लोगों ने किसान के लिए क्या किया?
उन्होंने तो पहले भी किया था और कर्जा माफ़ नहीं किया। हम वही कहते हैं जो करते हैं, और कांग्रेस वही कहती है जो कभी नहीं करती है। तो हम में और उनमें अंतर यही है। हमारे प्रति विश्वास है, कांग्रेस के प्रति अविश्वास है। हमारे नेता के प्रति विश्वास है, मोदी जी के प्रति, कांग्रेस के नेता के प्रति अविश्वास है।
18 साल के मुख्यमंत्री रहे हैं शिवराज सिंह चौहान, लेकिन इस बार चुनाव में कलेक्टिव लीडरशिप है। और अभी एक नारा मैंने सुना, आपके नारे नाम पर भी था कि मुख्यमंत्री आप बनिए।
देखिए, ये तो कार्यकर्ता हैं, नारे लगाते हैं, उसमें कोई नई बात नहीं। बाकी आप जानते हैं हमारी पार्टी की पॉलिसी, हमारे इंटरनल डेमोक्रेसी है। विधायक दल की बैठक होगी, नेता चुना जाएगा, फिर वह पार्लियामेंट्री बोर्ड में जाएगा, उसका नाम लगेगा, वही मुख्यमंत्री बनेगा। इसलिए हमारे यहाँ कोई बहुत बड़ा गणित करने की आवश्यकता नहीं है। बिल्कुल साफ है, इंटरनल डेमोक्रेसी, विधायक दल नेता चुनेगा और नेता वही मुख्यमंत्री बनेगा।
ये जनसंपर्क यात्रा आप हर दिन कितना काम कर रहे हैं? कुछ आइडिया दीजिए।
मैं लगभग रोज़ 8-10 किलोमीटर चलता हूँ ऐसे, क्योंकि समय बहुत कम होता है। मैं 7 बजे प्रारंभ कर पाता हूँ और 10 बजे तक आचार संहिता लग जाती है। तो जितना हो जाता है उतना कर लेता हूँ। आचार संहिता बंद लग जाती है, वहाँ बंद कर देता हूँ, फिर दूसरे दिन वहीं से चालू करता हूँ। तो ऐसा सतत चल रहा है।
आखिरी सवाल कैलाश जी, आप चाहते थे क्या कि आपके पुत्र को फिर से मौका मिले चुनाव लड़ने का?
देखिए, उसमें योग्यता है। मुझे चाहने और नहीं चाहने की बात नहीं है, वो डिज़र्व करता है। पार्टी ऐसे जो योग्य नौजवान है उसे मौका देगी, इसलिए मैं चाहता हूँ, उससे कुछ नहीं होता, वो डिज़र्व करता है।
3 तारीख को क्या होगा? नंबर बताइए।
भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बनेगी, 150 से 160 सीट के बीच में सीटें आएंगी।
चलिए, हम 3 तारीख को फिर से आपसे बात करेंगे। Your visit to Indore isn't really complete if you haven't visited Sarafa. It is known for its food, variety of it. It's largely a food street, but it gives you a fair sense of what Indore thinks about. What are the issues that are there on their mind and what will decide their vote? This issue पे vote होगा?
Actually voting is the fundamental right, so we must vote. And there are some issues like employment and business is not regulated, so we will give vote to whom if someone is ready to regulate these things. So this is the issue on which I am going to vote.
Let's speak to some more people and get a sense of what will decide their vote. Here is a family of people. आप लोग पूरे परिवार से आई हैं?
हाँ, परिवार पूरा।
इस बार सबसे बड़ा मुद्दा क्या है चुनाव में?
चुनाव में मुद्दा इनसे पूछो।
परिवर्तन।
अच्छा, क्यों परिवर्तन?
15 साल हो गए इस बार परिवर्तन करना है।
और 2018 और 2013 में किसके साथ थे?
हम बीजेपी के साथ थे।
और इस बार?
कांग्रेस के साथ थे।
अच्छा, तो परिवर्तन क्यों?
क्यों? अब किसी को चेक तो करें हम, क्या ये क्या कर सकते हैं? अभी तक हमने बीजेपी की सरकार देखी है, तो हम कांग्रेस की सरकार देखना चाहते हैं।
आप?
सेम एज पापा सेज, परिवर्तन देख को कौन अच्छा और कर सकता है, देखे तो सही।
आपने मन नहीं बनाया अभी?
मैं बीजेपी के साथ हूँ, इनके साथ नहीं हूँ।
अच्छा, ये भी है।
पूरा परिवार हमारा बीजेपी है। अब हम कांग्रेस या बीजेपी
ये दो बाप बेटे कांग्रेस में, हम बीजेपी में।
ये सास ये बहू ये बीजेपी है, हम दोनों।
एक्चुअली मैं तो फर्स्ट वोटर हूँ।
फर्स्ट टाइम वोटर।
आपने मन बना लिया किसके साथ?
अब देखते हैं कौन खड़ा हुआ। अभी तक तो लिस्ट देखी नहीं है। अभी चुनाव में तो वैसे टाइम है, हालांकि 17 को है। जब तक मन बनाते हैं कि फर्स्ट टाइम वोट किसको देना है।
मुझे बताइए, इस बार चुनाव में सबसे बड़ा मुद्दा क्या है?
चुनाव में मुद्दा क्या, बस जो जीतेगा वो सिकंदर। मुद्दा तो कुछ भी नहीं है। मुद्दा क्या होना चाहिए? महंगाई मुद्दा है नहीं। आदमी कमा रहा है, खा रहा है, महंगा है तो महंगा ले रहा है, महंगा तो महंगा बेच रहा है। तो मुद्दा महंगाई का नहीं है, कोई साफ सफाई का मुद्दा नहीं है, सही साठ है, सभी काम बढ़िया चल रहे हैं। तो मुद्दा तो किसी प्रकार,
जो जीता वही सिकंदर।
हाँ, जो जीता वो सिकंदर। बाबा महाकाल की कृपा देखो अब किस पे होती है।
NDTV for news you can trust. No sensationalism, no ugly debates, no agenda. We strive to be transparent and unbiased in our reporting so you can get news that you can rely on.
This show isn't just about news from the southern states. It's one that looks at the rest of India and the world from a diverse South India point of view. Because NDTV has always taken the southern view seriously.
The Southern View with Veera Raghav. Only on NDTV 24/7.
When it comes to sports, we set the ball rolling.
Because we have our eyes on the ball.
Because we want to get you the best.
Latest updates.
Top interviews.
And analysis.
From around the globe.
We have a surprise for you. We're going to ask a bunch of you some special questions, and every correct answer is going to reveal what our surprise is.
I don't know. Satya Nadella?
Jeff Bezos. Bill Gates probably.
Nehru Place. Saket.
Saket.
Mumbai.
Technical Guruji.
Tech Guruji.
Technical Guruji.
Technical Guruji.
चलिए शुरू करते हैं।
A cup of hope.
A cup of joy.
Can India lift it at home after 12 years?
We will follow their journey through the length and breadth of the country.
Through every twists and turns.
On Turning Point on NDTV 24/7.
A debate has many facets. Perhaps no one right answer. Left, right and center. Conversations that get to the core of the debate.
And there's too much talking but very little being said. Too many voices but hardly any being heard. You turn to a show that puts you front and center. A show that headlines the stories of the people, by the people, for the people. A cup of hope.
A cup of joy.
Can India lift it at home after 12 years?
We will follow their journey through the length and breadth of the country.
Through every twists and turns.
On Turning Point on NDTV 24/7. Election in 5 states. 679 seats. Over 16 crore voters. A crucial semi-final before 2024. NDTV brings you the politics, the promises, the stories and backstories, every twist and turn, of 5 high-stake battles. When it comes to elections, India trusts NDTV.
NDTV for news you can trust. No sensationalism, no ugly debates, no agenda. We strive to be transparent and unbiased in our reporting so you can get news that you can rely on.
This show isn't just about news from the southern states. It's one that looks at the rest of India and the
Good evening, you're watching NDTV and I'm Maria Shakil. 2 days before the crucial voting on all 230 seats in Madhya Pradesh and remaining 70 seats in Chhattisgarh, BJP's biggest mascot, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, is on a mission. The mission is to woo the crucial tribal votes in the poll-bound states. The Prime Minister on Wednesday visited the native village of tribal icon Birsa Munda in Jharkhand's Kunti on his birth anniversary and launched a welfare scheme for the tribal community. Addressing a public rally in Jharkhand's Kunti district, which is Birsa Munda's birthplace, Prime Minister Modi stressed on the need to strengthen 4 Amrit Stambh, while emphasizing on empowerment of women, farmers, youth and the middle class and poor for country's development.
अगले 25 वर्षों के अमृत काल में अगर हमें विकसित भारत की भव्य और दिव्य इमारत का निर्माण करना है तो हमें उसके 4 अमृत स्तंभों को और मजबूत करना होगा, निरंतर मजबूत करना होगा। हमारी सरकार ने जितना 10 साल में किया, अब उससे भी ज्यादा ऊर्जा के साथ हमें इन 4 अमृत स्तंभों पर अपनी पूरी ताकत लगानी है।
While these mega events may be happening in Jharkhand, the target audience is clearly the tribal voters in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan. These states, particularly Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, have a substantial tribal population and are key to BJP's hope of winning there. In the last assembly elections, the BJP did not have much to celebrate in the tribal regions. Out of 47 reserved ST seats in Madhya Pradesh, BJP managed to win only 16. It hopes to reverse the trend this time around with the Prime Minister's push. In 2018, in Chhattisgarh, the BJP could win only 2 of the 29 reserved ST seats. The rest were won by the Congress. Whereas in Rajasthan, the BJP won 9 out of 18 reserved ST seats. So the question that we are asking right now is, will the Prime Minister's tribal outreach pay electoral dividends in the upcoming state elections? And joining me on the show, Sandeep Shastri is National Coordinator Lokniti Network. We have Tuhin Sinha, author of The Legend of Birsa Munda and also the spokesperson of the BJP. Aditi Fadnis is Consulting Editor Business Standard. I'm going to begin with you, Tuhin. The timing is interesting, and of course with the 17th particularly being a crucial day where 230 seats of Madhya Pradesh, all 70 seats, the remaining 70 seats out of 90 of Chhattisgarh are going to polls. Of course, this is meant for these states. Jharkhand elections are still very far.
Well, good evening, Maria. Good evening, everybody. Well, a commitment to tribals goes back 25 years. If you look at it, in 1999, the then Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee had created the Ministry for Tribal Affairs for the first time. In 2000, we created the state of Jharkhand, a long pending demand which had existed for many decades before that. In fact, in 2021, Prime Minister Modi ji made Birsa Munda's birth anniversary Janjatiya Gaurav Divas. So I think, in 2021, there was no election. So Prime Minister Modi's and this government's commitment to tribals has been unequivocal, irrespective of whether elections have existed or not. Now, today, it was Birsa Munda's 123rd anniversary. in the next 2 years, obviously it would be 125th anniversary. I don't think him being present in the village of Birsa Munda makes it, has any electoral messaging. But over a period of time, most of the social welfare schemes, and particularly those for the poorest sections of society, whether it is the Nal Se Jal Karyakram, whether it is Jan Dhan Yojana, all of these have benefited the tribals the most. So I think, it goes beyond elections. Our commitment towards tribals has been consistent and unequivocal.
Yes, but Sandeep Shastri, the fact is that tribals as a constituency haven't been loyal to one particular political party. If we were to look at these 3 states alone, in Chhattisgarh, the Congress had a lead of 9 percentage point over the BJP among Adivasis in the last assembly elections. In Madhya Pradesh, if we were to look at it, in 2014 elections, the BJP had a massive lead of 14 percentage points among the Congress. Recently, when the Gujarat elections were held, the entire tribal, belt voted for the BJP.
Was the question posed to me, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Now, I think there is a truth in the argument you just now made about how much does the electoral campaign and the messaging actually translate itself into votes. And you have been showing on the screen the performance of different political parties in tribal seats. Let's also accept the fact that there is an element of symbolism that goes with the projections that are made. Now, be it the Prime Minister's outreach or be it the outreach of other leaders, the attempt to try and woo the tribal vote is something that all political parties are attempting and all leaders are attempting. But at the end of the day, I think the tribal community also has become politically savvy and politically strategic. And they look at what are the benefits on the ground, what are the programs and policies implemented on the ground by political parties. And that's what influences, determines, and decides that the way that they would vote. So while there are various forms of political symbolism that may be expressed, at the end of the day, the tribal vote does not move only in a particular direction. Tribals have voted on various factors, but at the end of the day, they look at the implementation of the promise made by parties on the ground.
Professor Saroj Giri as well. He is professor at the Department of Political Science in Delhi University. Aditi Fadnis, coming to you now. Of course, every move of the Prime Minister or by any political leader when we are in the thick of an election season will be watched out. The timing, of course, will be read in multiple ways. One of the ways could be the way we are reading about him targeting tribals in the poll-bound states. Within minutes, perhaps we'll be getting those visuals of him being in Rajasthan campaigning. But the larger question is, which way will the tribals go? If Mr. Sandeep Shastri is talking about, of course, if we were to look at data purely, there is a trend in many ways that they do not go with one particular political party they change with the states. So how should this be read in the sense that will this have an impact on the ground?
Well, it's hard to say whether it will have an impact on the ground or not. That question will be answered only when the results come out. But I think overall, if you look at the Madhya Pradesh, for instance, and the 47 tribal seats that it has, out of all the Nota seats where people voted for Nota, the vote for the Nota seats, Nota vote was the highest in the tribal seats in Madhya Pradesh. So that takes Professor Shastri's argument a bit forward and says what it tells us possibly is that ultimately the gains from all the multiple welfare programs and other things that Mr. Sinha alluded to, maybe their impact in tribal areas is not being felt in as widespread a way as elsewhere. That's number one. Number two, I think in Rajasthan, tribals are not that many in number as
That's right.
as reserved seats, but certainly in Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh, they are a very large number. And Birsa Munda's legacy is recognized particularly in these two states. So proximity can influence the election, and I would not agree with Mr. Sinha that this is being done out of altruism or any other reason. Clearly, the timing of the visit is to influence the outcome of the election.
Yes. Professor Giri, how are you looking at this? How much of impact will it have on the elections? Will you please unmute yourself?
Are you asking specifically with regards to PM Modi's outreach to the tribals?
Yes, that's right.
Well, I would say that I think the situation with the tribal question, I think varies differently in different states. If we look at Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh, they have slightly similar situation with regards to the Adivasis. Rajasthan would be slightly different because in Rajasthan, there is this demand for Bhil Pradesh, for a separate autonomous state among the Bhil people, which also includes Bhils from Madhya Pradesh and from Gujarat. I think I would like to focus on what is happening in Chhattisgarh in particular, because I do not know if, how much this has really troubled to the national media. But Chhattisgarh, the struggle of Adivasis against big corporate mining and displacement of tribals, that struggle is really intense, and for some reason, this has not really got the coverage that it deserves, both from even from alternate media, I would say. So if I were to focus there, then talking about Prime Minister Modi's outreach, then I would say that the PMO as well as the Home Ministry is directly, implementing measures in tribal areas that are extremely harmful to the tribals. For example, I don't know how many people have really heard about this, and I'm embarrassed to actually say in this way because we should have all heard about this. There were aerial bombings in Adivasi areas in Bastar. Not just once, but thrice over the past couple of years. Aerial bombing directly sanctioned by the Home Ministry at the highest level. So much so that in some cases that the Congress government in Chhattisgarh would said that they didn't even know that there is aerial bombing going on.
That? I think that's a subject of BJP versus Congress. We invariably see that play out in that domain. But right now, what we are also seeing, Tuhin Sinha, is massive outreach and governance efforts that have been carried out by Bhupesh Baghel in Chhattisgarh. And that is the reason why, if you look at survey after survey, it's translating into him being the most popular chief minister, someone who has ensured Bijli Sadak Pani and gone beyond that to have hospitals and also schools in these tribal regions.
Maria, I think I would beg to disagree there.
Okay, Tuhin, please. Yes, Tuhin, go ahead.
Can I please complete?
Yes.
In fact, if you look at
Maria, if I
it,
can come in here,
yes,
I'll
come to you.
About your assessment of.
In fact, if you look at it, Maria, if you look at it, all the scams of the Chhattisgarh government, whether it is the latest Gobar Gothan scam, whether it is the coal levy scam, at the core of it, who are the worst sufferers, who are the victims? They are the Adivasi community, even the PSC scam. So I think, Chhattisgarh government has been the unkindest one to the tribals of the state. And irrespective of what bubble may exist at this point of time, they are in for a problem because of this. So, I don't think, Bhupesh Baghel has any credibility insofar as tribal areas is concerned. And the gentleman before me, when he was referring to certain bombings, I think, I don't think there is anything even factually available to that to support that on public domain. So I don't think on a show like this, we should support such arguments which are based on hearsay.
Okay. Sandeep Shastri, come in on this, talking specifically about the ordinance which was promulgated to maintain status quo on the SC/ST Act. Then we have seen that back and forth that has happened. Do you think, Sandeep Shastri, it can be seen as what BJP's Tuhin Sinha said, that in the last 9 years in particular, there has been efforts by the central government repeatedly, or will you see this as more of a one-off?
I would have a slightly different perspective on the issue. I think in the last decade, we have visibly seen that the voter in this country makes a distinction between the national and the state election. Even the studies that we have done as part of Lokniti clearly show that when it comes to a national election, when it comes to the central government, there is a particular perspective that the voter takes. But when it is a state assembly election, the voter is clearly, visibly looking at issues which directly affect her life, issues which are linked to his or her livelihood at the local level. Those are the factors that play a role. So when I'm looking at the Chhattisgarh elections, I'm basically looking at what are the local factors, what has been people's experience with regard to governance, and what has been both the BJP's and the Congress's offering to the people and the people's past experience vis-a-vis that offering. That, I think, for me is at the end of the day what the voter in Chhattisgarh is looking at. And it's not about whether the center has done something or the state has done something. The voter is able to see through that and makes this clear distinction between the two levels of government.
What about Madhya Pradesh or even Rajasthan, sir?
In the case of Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, also the issues are very interesting and different. Both the Congress and the BJP, which are in power in these two states, have not declared their sitting chief minister as their prospective chief minister. Congress has not done it in Rajasthan, and the BJP has not done it in Madhya Pradesh. In both these states, the issues are very, very different. In Madhya Pradesh, the BJP is battling anti-incumbency. And the Congress, on the other hand, has to deal with factionalism within the party. And Rajasthan is another set of issues that are in play. So I think every state election has strongly localized issues which seem to play a role in the voter deciding how he or she would vote. And we will not be able to make a generalization about these three states. I think there are specificities in Rajasthan, specificities in Madhya Pradesh, as well as specificities in Chhattisgarh. And I think looking at each of them in a specific sense from the prism of what is important to that voter in the state makes more sense for me.
Let me bring in Aditi now. Aditi, the question certainly is that when tribals are looking at their own issues, and I was in Ratlam, which is tribal dominated in Madhya Pradesh, the sense that one does get is that they are looking at issues very, very locally. For them, a national party or a national face doesn't really matter. It's also because these are assembly elections. But Aditi, why do you think increasingly they are getting disenchanted from the Congress?
I think they're not just getting disenchanted from the Congress, they're getting disenchanted from most parties. And to the extent that Madhya Pradesh has had a tribal party, which was floated just before the last assembly election. And as far as I know, that's still in business. So the fact is that there is growing realization that several legislations, including the UCC, the proposed UCC, is a problem. And it's not going to be such an easy thing to move tribals politically from their immediate concerns.
Okay. Tuhin Sinha, quickly come in on this. Of course, the immediate concerns of tribals are very different from what is being said. You know, the vulnerable groups that have been identified, they spread over, you know, in over 22,000 villages in multiple states and union territories. questions will be asked if this is linked to elections, but nevertheless, how hopeful is the BJP that this will have an impact on the poll-bound states?
Maria, how is it linked to elections? In the last 9 years, social welfare schemes have been at the core of our governance. So, today probably 25 lakh crores of rupees have been distributed via 300 social welfare schemes through the digital public infrastructure. And obviously, a large part of these beneficiaries have been the tribal population. Now, when we launched the PVT, and particularly vulnerable tribal groups, the core agenda or the core purpose of that is to ensure that if at all any percentage of the weakest and the poorest section has been left out, even that will be covered over the next 2 months. So trust me, in Madhya Pradesh, where we have a double engine sarkar, as we call it, there is going to be a pro-incumbency vote. In Chhattisgarh, even today, the tribals are rather upset with the existing state government because of the multiple scams which have actually impacted them. And in Jharkhand, equally, they are upset with the existing state government, which has been, at the forefront of looting them via mining scam. But there is immense positive sentiment for the social welfare schemes of the central government, which is creating an undercurrent for the BJP in each of the states.
Okay, then Professor Giri, if it is about Labharti, and Labharti is that group which is a beneficiary class, then it will not be looking at its identity on those lines. They are all looking at welfareism then.
I think that's what I was saying. I think in different parts of the country where in tribal areas, I think the accent is different. The inflections are different. So in some cases, what you are saying in a lot of the tribal areas, that's true. There is a Labharti, there is a beneficiary section from the welfare schemes. But believe me that there are large parts, in fact, the major parts of Adivasi areas in India are still under tremendous pressure from big corporate interests, industrialization, displacement, and the question of land, that is still a basic issue, So whatever welfare schemes you give, the kind of welfare schemes that we see in all electoral processes, every contending political party does that, giving freebies and all of that. I think the Adivasi question cannot really be sorted through that. And even electorally, if you're talking purely electorally, I think if you like, for example, take Chhattisgarh, you should definitely talk to people who have the Hamar Raj party. There is a new kind of resurgence within Adivasis that they do not anymore want Congress or BJP. They have rejected Congress. If you go at the grassroots level, they have definitely rejected BJP, and they want their own independent autonomous voice. And Hamar Raj party in Chhattisgarh is an example of that. And similar processes are going on in Rajasthan. That I know people, tribal leaders,
how much of an electoral impact do these parties really make, Sandeep Shastri? Speaking purely on the basis of your data.
I respect what Professor Giri is saying in terms of the local identities being critical. But if we look at survey data from the past, be it Chhattisgarh, be it Madhya Pradesh, be it Rajasthan, there seems to be a direct bi-party competition. I concede the point that Professor Giri makes that there is an element of disillusionment among segments of voters with the mainstream political parties. But the reality, I think, continues to be that it is these two major parties that you have in these three states.
That's true. There is still no
center of the competition.
That's true.
And are the ones which are seeking electoral support.
Okay. I'll have let me give the final word as per the tradition to the women on the panel. Aditi Fadnis, how are you looking at the elections pan out, particularly in the tribal belt? Of course, we'll see how it happens finally on 3rd. But, just as Gujarat, where when it was a wave election, just about every pocket voted in one direction, will it be different based on more local factors than overarching themes?
Well, the BJP has certainly deployed a lot of very high-level tactics to win over the tribal areas. And these tribal areas have slipped away from the Congress. Both these statements are true. But ultimately, what is it that is bothering tribals, and what is it that they want from a government that they elect? I think I would tend to agree that the larger picture is issues of land, something to which even the President of India referred when she was governor of Jharkhand, including issues of cultural identity and religion. As you know, the tribals have their own, in many parts of India, have their own religion and a god. They worship nature and a god called Sarna. Uh, they are not part of the Hindu recognized, organized religion as we know it. Uh, they want protection for all this, and they want protection for their cultural identity. It's something that ex-Congress leader Arvind Neta is fighting for very strenuously in Chhattisgarh. So there are lots of subterranean pressures which tribals, without even being aware of it, are kind of giving vent to. And I think these things are very, very important in the overlay that makes them vote.
All right. Tween, perhaps we'll continue this discussion off screen as well. Thank you so much for your time. Tween Sinha, Sandeep Shastri, Professor Giri and Aditi Fadnis. Of course, we'll be waiting and seeing how the tribal votes really unfold on 3rd, but all eyes will be on how the voting goes in these belts in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, particularly on 17th.
When it comes to sports, we set the ball rolling.
Because we have our eyes on the ball.
Because we want to get you the best.
Latest updates,
Top interviews
and analysis
from around the globe.
We have a surprise for you. We're going to ask a bunch of you some special questions, and every correct answer is going to reveal what our surprise is.
I don't know. Satya
Jeff Bezos. Bill Gates probably.
Nehru Place. Saket.
Saket.
Mumbai.
Technical Guruji.
Tech Guruji. Technical Guruji.
Technical Guruji. चलिए शुरू करते हैं.
A cup of hope.
a cup of joy.
Can India lift it at home after 12 years?
We will follow their journey through the length and breadth of the country.
Through every twists and turns.
On Turning Point, on NDTV 24/7.
A debate has many facets. Perhaps no one right answer. Left, right and center. Conversations that get to the core of the debate.
When there's too much talking but very little being said, too many voices but hardly any being heard, you turn to a show that puts you front and center. A show that headlines the stories of the people, by the people, for the people. A cup of hope.
A cup of joy.
Can India lift it at home after 12 years?
We will follow their journey through the length and breadth of the country.
Through every twists and turns.
On Turning Point, on NDTV 24/7.
Election in 5 states, 679 seats, over 16 crore voters. A crucial semi-final before 2024. NDTV brings you the politics, the promises, the stories and backstories, every twist and turn of 5 high-stake battles. When it comes to elections, India trusts NDTV.
NDTV for news you can trust. No sensationalism, no ugly debates, no agenda. We strive to be transparent and unbiased in our reporting so you can get news that you can rely on.
This show isn't just about news from the southern states. It's one that looks at the rest of India and the world from a diverse South India point of view, because NDTV has always taken the southern view seriously.
The Southern View with Veera Raghav, only on NDTV 24/7.
comes to sports, we set the ball rolling.
Because we have our eyes on the ball.
Because we want to get you the best.
Latest updates,
Top interviews
and analysis
from around the globe.
We have a surprise for you. We're going to ask a bunch of you some special questions, and every correct answer is going to reveal what our surprise is.
I don't know. Satya
Jeff Bezos. Bill Gates probably.
Nehru Place. Saket.
Saket.
Mumbai.
Technical Guruji.
Tech Guruji. Technical Guruji.
Technical Guruji.
Hello and welcome to Turning Point. Well, it is the semi-final of the Cricket World Cup. India taking on New Zealand, and once again it has been a Virat moment for Team India. Virat Kohli scoring his 50th ODI 100, going past Sachin Tendulkar in front of a packed stadium, and the master himself. En route, he tumbled several records. He has gone past 700 runs in this edition of the World Cup, also become the highest run scorer in a single World Cup edition. India has gone past 300 runs facing the Kiwis. We will talk a lot more about what's happening and what's going to happen.
Well, the fact that the Indian juggernaut has been rolling over all the oppositions, and today leading that attack from the front was King Kohli, slamming his 50th ODI ton, a record, a massive, massive achievement, and what a poetic way to do it in front of Sachin Tendulkar at Wankhede, bowing down to the master himself. A fantastic day for Indian cricket. We are joined at this point by former India cricketer Sabah Karim, who is smiling, who is happy, and why not? What a great moment for Indian cricket and Virat Kohli.
Indeed, it is. It is astounding to see his consistency, Osama. I've yet to see a player who has this kind of passion to score runs. And people have talked about Virat Kohli not getting runs in the semi-final encounter in the previous editions of the World Cup. But in this World Cup, I think he was so focused that he wanted to make it count, and he has done that each and every time he stepped out to bat for his country. Today was another example of his desire and his passion to score runs at the right time. And you have very aptly described the fact that this packed Wankhede crowd was waiting for a moment like this. He has obviously broken Sachin Tendulkar's record, but at the same time, for him to score this amount of runs in front of Wankhede, where now he lives in Mumbai, this kind of a home crowd for him, and he's chosen the right time to get to this 100. Again, very well crafted, flawless knock this time around. Took his time. And then once he got into his 20s and 30s, one was able to watch him blossom in such a fine manner. And I think, we don't talk about the kind of impact the batters before him have had in his innings. Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, the kind of start they gave the Indian side that allowed Virat Kohli to spend some time at the crease and then to accelerate. And similarly for Shreyas Iyer, he came in at number 4 and he started to come in and play some big shots that again helped Virat Kohli to take his time to construct his innings. And I think that is what Virat Kohli has been famous for.
You see, there is this term that has been thrown around a lot, the greatest of all time, the GOAT of cricket. Sabah Karim, is he the greatest of all time when it comes to
In one-day batting? Has to be. There is no doubt about that. I mean, you can talk about different generations, the rules have changed, all that. But I think even if you talk to any of the greats of white ball cricket, especially one day, everybody will take Virat Kohli's name. But for him now, we have always talked about Virat Kohli as a chase master, but look at him now. In a big encounter, semi-final, he gets you 100 while India is trying to put up a target. So I think it goes to show that how he has remodeled his game. There's always this eagerness to learn, and I think that is what makes him so different and so special.
We're also joined by former India cricketer Gursharan Singh. Gursharan, you have seen Virat Kohli grow up in Delhi. From a young boy to a world beater today, how different is Virat the batter?
I think phenomenal. Hats off to Virat.
the way he has been batting, rightly Sabawat said that people were saying when they're chasing Virat is the best. But now you see, it's a big stage, semi-final, and the way he batted, he took his time, and then he the shots which he played over cover also, pull, and the way he runs, really great. And I have seen him. I want to just share a incident with him, and I consider myself lucky that I have been his head coach when in the under 17 at Una. Himachal scored 452, and we on the second time we were 50-2, and Virat came just before lunch, and he was batting on 5 or 6, and when he was on 3, there was a bowler in their team who was 6 feet 4 inches, and he delivered a bouncer, and Virat tried to hook, and it fell in no man's land. When the lunch was taken, I just told Virat, I said, Virat, he is 6'4", and his bouncer, it won't skid. It will just be like tennis ball. If you don't hook, then you play all the other shots, but please avoid that shot. And Rika and Saba, I want to share with you, he scored 200 without a single hook. And we chased on 452, and after 200, then he played that hook shot also. From there, I could see that he's destined for a greatness. He's a big player, and he will play for the country. And what I thought, he has proved that. And his humility, like he's always said that Sachin is my idol. What Sachin has achieved, really great. He's always tried to be like him, and he's always said that I am learning, and I'm trying to be just like Sachin. Really great, and great performance, and I wish him more success in rest of his career.
Well, we are also joined by senior sports journalist Gautam Bhattacharya at this hour. Gautam, we have seen 50 shades of Virat Kohli. You, a journalist, never short of words. How would you describe this shade of Virat?
There is nothing much that one can add to the experts like Gulsharanji and Sabha must have been saying. I would say that, the two back-to-back centuries that we saw in Calcutta, what I saw was his adaptability to the situation. In Mumbai, he knew that big score was there for the taking, and he had this, little bit of a box to tick off. I mean, he had a poor record in the knockout stages of major ICC tournaments. I mean, has scored something like 12 points something. So he has answered not that he needs to answer his critics. This century has come at a time where the semi-final jinx needed to be broken. So nothing can be better than this. It's just showing that sense of ambition which a champion there does.
Well, absolutely. And the fact that this all changed for Virat Kohli after that historic knock at the MCG. It was a completely different Virat Kohli that we saw from then onward after that knock that he played at the MCG, Sababhai. From there to now, it just looks like he has just grown as a cricketer. He has basically just overtaken everything and everyone that came in his way.
I think all this happens when you're in a happy space, and that's what we have noticed with Virat. There was a tumultuous, period of time when he had to undergo certain upheavals in his career. He went through a very rough patch in terms of his dismissals and in terms of his performance. But for him to come back from all that and to stand his ground like this is unbelievable. And as I said, all this can only happen when you're willing to work very hard and you put your mind to rest in terms of trying to accept too many responsibilities. At this point of time, it seems that Virat Kohli has always been very eager to learn, but he understands his position in the side, and this proclivity of scoring hundreds is amazing. I've yet to see someone who has this innate desire to score hundreds all the time he steps on to bat, and it is not an easy skill to acquire, and he has done that over so many years, several times on different occasions. And I think that's what makes him so special. Even in today's innings, it was not only about scoring runs at such a pace, also playing the big shot, but also his running between the wickets. It goes to show that he's supremely fit at this point of time. Even after scoring his 100, he was willing to go for the second run. And I think that is what makes him so different. He was, but thankfully he got fit after that. And then by the time he reached his 100, he looked as if he can go on to score another 100, the way he was batting in the end. But as I said, I think this entire the batting unit of India is tuned in a way so that it is helping Virat Kohli to play a specific role in the side. And I remember we talked about this in the pre-game show, Rika, that his role has been identified by the team management and the captain. So he holds the entire innings together, and that is why Rohit Sharma has picked players who are able to play a different kind of a role, play the aggressive role along with Virat Kohli. And I think that's what the entire team has done.
I have a question to Gursharan Singh about, Virat Kohli being the man around whom India is batting right now. For a generation, we know Sachin Tendulkar carried the weight of a generation on his shoulders. But would you say with Virat Kohli, he has players around him to share that kind of responsibility for Team India? And that makes his job a little easier?
Yeah, hello. Yeah, he has always played with responsibility, Rika, whether when he made a debut. But at the moment, like he has been batting, for that, I think credit goes to the openers also. Rohit and Shubman, the way they are playing. And then Virat, he takes his time. And the way he plays, he has been taking Indians batting on his shoulder for the last 10, 12 years. It is really great. It's a great consistency. And his the scoring of centuries ratio is also very good. Like he scored already 80 international hundreds in very, very few games. So you can easily see that every inning is a new inning for him. Like if he scores 100, then in the next match also, if he gets set, he gets. You will rarely see him getting out in the 20s and 30s. Once he gets set, then he gets a big one above 50. 150s, and that is a hallmark of a great player. And rightly what Saba said, he's, I think, all-time one of the greatest one-day batsmen in the history of the game. The way, how many matches he has won, plus on any condition, whether outside India or within the country, he has performed. Yeah, really, the greatest.
Well, the greatest of Indian cricket, Sachin Tendulkar, has in fact tweeted saying that the first time I met you in the Indian dressing room, you were pranked by other teammates into touching my feet. I couldn't stop laughing that day, but soon you touched my heart with your passion and skill. I'm so happy that that young boy has grown into a Virat player. I couldn't be happier that an Indian broke my record, and to do it on the biggest stage in the World Cup semi-final and at my home ground is the icing on the cake. It is the icing on the cake, Sababai.
It has to be, and after scoring his 100, the gesture towards Sachin Tendulkar says it all. Yeah. And I think besides Sachin Tendulkar, it is David Beckham. And his favourite sport, in addition to cricket, I think it's football. So I think if you look at that, for him to have that kind of a gesture in front of Sachin Tendulkar, obviously, but also with David Beckham around, just goes to show that how much he loves sports. Yeah. So Virat is special because of so many different ways.
He was in fact playing one-touch football with.
Very sweet video from
and I look at him and it reminds me of a very famous character from Friedrich Nietzsche, the famous German philosopher. He always talked about the Superman, which is the Ubermensch. Yeah. And I think Virat Kohli is an ideal candidate to be termed as an Ubermensch or a Superman for Indian cricket, the kind of performances which he has put in for India over the past several years.
Well, Gautam, talking about his wingman today, Shreyas Iyer, who also went on to score a century. He did not have a great start to the tournament, but he has grown in confidence and in stature as the tournament progressed. Talk to us a little bit about the quality of the 100 that you saw from Shreyas Iyer today.
Well, despite the talk of wicket aiding the batting, century in 67 balls against the New Zealand bowlers, at 10-6 own scoring. He came in with a completely different intent And what we see in this batting lineup is, as Sava was saying just now, I mean, the roles are very clearly defined. I mean, had it been 30 for 2 or something, we could have seen a different Shreyas there. But when he came in, he knew that they have to outbat New Zealand from the semi-final, and that was his grabbed the opportunity with both hands. He was unchallenged, he was untroubled by anything, and he's such a wonderful player of spin that, you know, he's one of the, I mean, there was a time when he was looking more comfortable against Santner and Rachin Ravindra. So a different innings under different circumstances. All the credit to him. I mean, let's not forget that he has also come out of the back-to-back centuries. With that takes a lot of doing it.
That is the reason why Shreyas Iyer is in the 11, and that is why the reason why Rahul Dravid and Rohit Sharma have backed him. They waited for him to get fit. And there were a number of issues that cropped up, and then before the World Cup started, he had a niggle, so I think he missed the preparatory, the warm-up matches, if I'm correct. I think it is precisely for this reason, because he has this rare ability to accelerate whenever he wants, especially against the spinners. Today also, the way he belted those powerful shots or against those sixes he hit against spinners goes to show that with Shreyas Iyer at the other end, it allowed Virat Kohli to settle down, and it took his own time. But Shreyas Iyer remains a very integral part of the side. And he has been a mainstay at number 4 for India for the past couple of seasons. That is the biggest reason why Rohit Sharma and Rahul Dravid have backed him. And one can see why Shreyas Iyer is talked so highly of in the Indian dressing room.
Now, before we show our viewers what happened in the first innings, Sabha, one question to you about Virat Kohli, and we don't often use this word in ODI cricket, sheet anchor. Do you think Virat Kohli is someone who's a sheet anchor, and he is an example of an ideal sheet anchor in ODI cricket?
Yes, and you need a player like that because 50-over game is so different from T20. So you require someone who can control the entire innings, and no one better than Virat Kohli to do so. It does not mean that when there is a need to accelerate, Virat Kohli can't do that. Because because of his experience, he has the ability to be extremely flexible and agile in his approach. For instance, if 2 wickets had fallen early, then you could have seen a different kind of a Virat Kohli. Or if Virat had come into bat at say 150 for 1 or 2 at that stage, maybe we would have seen a different kind of a strike rate from Virat Kohli. But eventually he did get 100, but he batted at a strike rate of about 103, 104.
103, that's probably the lowest among all the
Also, Rika,
Indian
I think many people tend to forget that, I mean, we have talked about his role being identified as a sheet anchor, and the entire, the India's batting unit revolves him, but it also goes to show that that Virat Kohli remains so special because he knows how to control the innings. He knows how to set a target. He also knows how to chase a target, and along with him, the other players can score freely when they know very well that Virat Kohli is at the crease. That is one reason why Shreyas Iyer can score at such a brisk pace, why KL Rahul can come in and score freely. Similarly for Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill right at the top, they know that Virat Kohli comes in number 3, even if a wicket fall, which has happened in the, on some occasions. So you have someone like Virat Kohli who can soak in the pressure and then take India home.
Sabha, let's show our viewers as to what happened in the first innings and how Virat got to that history-making moment.
Rohit Sharma came out all guns blazing in the semi-final and wanted it. He went past Chris Gayle to hit most number of sixes in the World Cup as India reached 50 up inside 6 overs. Even though India lost Rohit after 8.2 overs, but did not lose momentum as Gill was in the middle. He struck his 3rd half-century in the last 4 innings. Virat Kohli once again played the sheet anchor's role, occasionally displaying shots like this.
Enough to hit it away from the deep.
Shubman Gill was retired hurt on 77. Kohli displayed rich vein of form, batting at an average of 84.7. The former skipper struck his 7th half-century of the tournament. King Kohli's dominance at the world stage continued as he went past Sachin's record of most runs in a single edition of a World Cup. And with that, Virat Kohli became the most prolific centurion in the history of ODI cricket. A punch in the air as Kohli broke Tendulkar's record in front of Tendulkar to bring up his 50th ODI ton.
international ODI hundreds.
Well, India at the moment are 383 for 4. In the final over, they're looking to cross that 400-run mark. Will that happen? We'll have to wait and watch. But at this point, the talking point and the only talking point is King Kohli, who has smashed Sachin's record of 49 centuries, goes on to make the 50th ODI ton. A historic moment at Wankhede in front of the Little Master. What a great moment for Virat Kohli and Indian cricket in general. Sabha bhai, I also want to talk about the fact that India in this World Cup, they have been a juggernaut, and everyone was talking about how this could be, the semi-final could be the one match where India might face some competition. But when you look at that score, and when you look at that batting, the way India has batted, does it feel like that we are one step into the finals now?
Let's get this done with. It seemed that we have kind of done our best to outbat New Zealand. Now we are at this stage 393 for 4. We should cross 400, and the excess of 400 for New Zealand to chase under lights with a strong bowling unit is not going to be an easy task. But yes, you're absolutely right. And I think all this has happened because of the kind of planning which the team management along with the selectors have done. The Indian team management has backed some of the big players, and that is why we see the results. Can you imagine we are missing one big player, that is Hardik Pandya, the only all-rounder, so-called batting all-rounder in our side. And despite that, we are in such a strong position. It goes to show that India's bench strength and the kind of players the selectors have picked and the kind of players the team management has backed, all that has bore fruit for India, which is such a remarkable sight to see. No wonder India has dominated in all the matches, and today also in a big semi-final encounter, India has done that.
So 397 for 4, Rika.
398
is the target that India has set.
Sabha, you are saying that it is difficult to chase under lights.
It is impossible, if you ask me now, Marika,
we have one prediction already.
Of 3 pace bowlers plus 2 spinners, and you have noticed the way the wicket has played. Right. It is on the slower side. There are some
down.
Yes, it has slowed down
Considerably.
And as the game has progressed with the older ball, it is not easy to time the ball. It's because of the sheer quality of Indian batters, whether it is Shreyas, Iyer, even KL Rahul came in and scored some brisk runs. It just goes to show that India is on top at this stage.
Well, let's hear from Gursharan. 398. Will India have any kind of jitters, defending this?
No, I don't think what rightly Sabha said. Impossible. It's very difficult because wicket is also on the slower side. And then first 10-12 overs in Bombay, the ball really moves. I mean, it's very impossible. Plus, I just want to add one thing about Virat Kohli's inning also. I think he's the ideal batsman for the youngsters to copy, to follow. Like, he normally plays good cricketing shots, right? He doesn't play the reverse sweep or some other improvisation. But with normal batting cricketing shots, he in the one-day cricket, his strike rate is more than 100. It's really great, and his footwork and his shot selection was superb. And again, hats off to Virat, the way he has been batting. And obviously, it was a knockout game. He wanted to show this also, that in the World Cup semi-final, I've got 50th 100, and really great performance.
And these are signs of a great batter. Is that when you go out to bat, you see the surface, you assess the surface, and you construct your innings in your mind. So you visualize before you go out to bat. And I think that's a hallmark of someone like Sachin Tendulkar. He would always do that. So before he gets 100 on the field, he has already scored a double 100 in his mind. So I think that's what we have noticed in Virat Kohli. So you have to visualize the opposition, the attack, and the kind of surface you are playing. And then accordingly, you work out the kind of shots you need to play. That is why Virat Kohli's innings will always be risk-free. But whenever he takes that undue risk early in his career, he has gone out cheaply. So I think Virat is very clear in his mind that he needs to visualize, and he does that so well. People keep saying that he goes out to bat, he knows the kind of surface this is and the kind of shots he has to play. So his shot selection was again very immaculate, and on top of that, he crafted his innings well before he went out to bat. And I think it's a sheer example of his tenacity and his ability to score tons at this pace.
Well, one player that we have been talking about throughout this tournament is captain Rohit Sharma and what he has been providing for this team, the way that he has been batting in this World Cup, taking playing the captain's role literally. Gautam Bhattacharya, today as well, Rohit Sharma gave India the kind of start that he has been providing throughout the tournament. How crucial are those 47 odd runs from Rohit Sharma in the larger context? Because when you look at how Kohli constructed his innings, you also have to look at how Rohit Sharma gave him that platform.
It's been priceless, Osama. You're right. Thing is, if you look at how the media had been building up the semi-final, it was scouted as a kind of battle between Rohit and Bolt. So Rohit chose to exercise that boast in the first over itself. I mean, there was a lot of talk about the left-arm seamers delivery coming in, etc., etc. But he won that mental battle, and then in the first 6 overs there were 50 plus. So that's where the battle was starting to get one side, and then it's quite obvious that because of the sense of location of Virat's 50th century, his other contributions will get a little overshadowed. But Rohit's have been a priceless innings. Same with Gill and same with Shreyas' century, of course.
Well, we'll keep discussing Virat Kohli's 50th ODI ton and a lot more. India has set New Zealand a target of 398 runs to win that semi-final match of the World Cup. Time for a very tiny break on the show. A cup of hope.
A cup of joy.
Can India lift it at home after 12 years?
We will follow their journey through the length and breadth of the country.
Through every twists and turns.
On Turning Point, on NDTV 24/7.
A debate has many facets. Perhaps no one right answer. Left, right and center. Conversations that get to the core of the debate.
And there's too much talking but very little being said. Too many voices but hardly any being heard. You turn to a show that puts you front and center. A show that headlines the stories of the people, by the people, for the people.
A cup of hope.
A cup of joy.
Can India lift it at home after 12 years?
We will follow their journey through the length and breadth of the country.
Through every twists and turns.
On Turning Point, on NDTV 24/7.
Election in 5 states, 679 seats, over 16 crore voters. A crucial semi-final before 2024. NDTV brings you the politics, the promises, the stories and backstories, every twist and turn of 5 high-stake battles. When it comes to elections, India trusts NDTV.
NDTV for news you can trust. No sensationalism, no ugly debates, no agenda. We strive to be transparent and unbiased in our reporting so you can get news that you can rely on.
This show isn't just about news from the southern states. It's one that looks at the rest of India and the world from a diverse South India point of view. Because NDTV has always taken the southern view seriously.
The Southern View with Veera Raghav, only on NDTV 24/7.
When it comes to sports, we set the ball rolling.
Because we have our eyes on the ball.
Because we want to get you the best.
Latest updates,
top interviews,
and analysis
from around the globe.
We have a surprise for you. We're going to ask a bunch of you some special questions, and every correct answer is going to reveal what our surprise is.
I don't know. Satya Nadella?
Jeff Bezos. Bill Gates, probably.
Nehru Place. Saket.
Saket.
Mumbai.
Technical Guruji.
Tech Guruji. Technical Guruji.
Technical Guruji.
चलिए शुरू करते हैं।
A cup of hope.
A cup of joy.
Can India lift it at home after 12 years?
We will follow their journey through the length and breadth of the country.
Through every twists and turns.
On Turning Point, on NDTV 24/7.
A debate has many facets, perhaps no one right answer. Left, right and centre. Conversations that get to the core of the debate.
Well, we are talking about Virat Kohli's historic moment, getting to 50 ODI tons, as India has set a huge target of 398 runs to New Zealand in the first semi-final of Cricket World Cup. Let's have a look at what happened when Team India batted.
Rohit Sharma came out all guns blazing in the semi-final and wanted it.
One of the best bowlers in the world.
He went past Chris Gayle to hit most number of sixes in the World Cup as India reached 50 up inside 6 overs. Even though India lost Rohit after 8.2 overs, but did not lose momentum as Gill was in the middle. He struck his third half-century in the last 4 innings. Virat Kohli once again played the sheet anchor's role, occasionally displaying shots like this.
Not enough to hit it away from the deep.
Shubman Gill was retired hurt on 77. Kohli displayed rich vein of form, batting at an average of 84.7. The former skipper struck his 7th half-century of the tournament. King Kohli's dominance at the world stage continued as he went past Sachin's record of most runs in a single edition of a World Cup. And with that, Virat Kohli became the most prolific centurion in the history of ODI cricket. A punch in the air as Kohli broke Tendulkar's record in front of Tendulkar to bring up his 50th ODI ton.
50 international ODI hundreds.
Well, let's have a look at what Sachin Tendulkar said after Virat Kohli scored that ton. In fact, Sachin was at the ground. It was his century that Virat Kohli overcame. The first time, he said, the first time I met you in the Indian dressing room, you were pranked by another teammate into touching my feet. I couldn't stop laughing that day, but soon you touched my heart and your passion, and with your passion and skill. Sabha, tell us a little bit about this beautiful relationship that has blossomed over the years. And I remember 2011 when India won the World Cup, Virat Kohli made a very nice comment about a whole generation, Sachin carrying the weight of a whole generation, and he wanted to carry the burden of Sachin Tendulkar.
One person who has learned the most from Sachin Tendulkar in the dressing room is Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli, when he made his debut, was a different Virat altogether. He has absorbed as much as possible from the discipline, from the sacrifice, from the willpower of Sachin Tendulkar. Sachin Tendulkar's speciality was his preparation. And his ability to score hundreds, his ability to understand the conditions and bat under pressure and to take that responsibility. And I think Virat has imbibed all these qualities from Sachin Tendulkar. His humility also to a large extent comes from what he has seen from Sachin Tendulkar. So one has seen him grow not only as a cricketer but also as a person, and all that has happened is because of the time that he has spent with Sachin in the dressing room. So I think Virat is blessed that Sachin likes him so much, and they've had this honest kind of a communication going all the time, even when they played together. And now, after Sachin's retirement, they've had this constant communication, and Sachin has always guided him.
And,
so I think
and Virat also spoke about the time when he was not getting runs, he was going through a rough patch. One man that he stayed in touch with.
Yeah, he's one phone call away, not only for Virat, but for the cricket also. So I think in that sense, Rika, I think India is blessed. So India has got some great stalwarts who always help the younger generation to grow, right from Sunil Gavaskar to Sachin Tendulkar to Virat Kohli. And I think after Virat also, we are seeing the emergence of Shreyas, Iyer and KL Rahul and Shubman Gill. Yep. And I think hopefully this kind of tradition will continue.
Sabha, you were also talking about the visualization aspect. And, you know, when Virat Kohli scored the century after that, he not just punched in the air, almost a David Warner-like celebration today, and then he bowed
Goes down on his knees,
Yes.
goes down on his knees. It's a whole process. Punches in the air, goes down on his knees.
So the process is not only about scoring runs, but also the way he wanted to celebrate. I think this is a rare gesture, and I'm sure he must have thought about it. That okay, I want to get 100, I want to get a big 100 for my side. I want my team to win. But if something like this happens, this is the way I'm going to offer my gratitude to the one and only Sachin Tendulkar.
It's the showman Kohli once again.
Well, he deserves it. And Gursharan Singh, I also want to talk about the fact that around 10, 12 years ago, somebody asked Sachin Tendulkar as to who do you feel is going to beat that record when it comes to most centuries, and he very rightly said that those guys are here in this room, pointed out to Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, and both these players, when you look at how things have panned out for them and their careers, as well as how things have panned out in this World Cup, when you look at this, the kind of premonition that Sachin Tendulkar had, it was absolutely right, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, I think Sachin could see when Virat made a debut, Sachin was playing. Then he saw a young 18-year-old, then he saw him blossoming and learning from his mistakes. And like in the earlier few matches, he used to get out for 30s and 40s. But after one or 2 years, and after that Australia tour, he really blossomed into one of the very, very consistent batsmen and a match winner for India. And what Sachin had seen, Virat has proved. And I really appreciate his gesture, great gesture when he bowed down after scoring that 100 towards Sachin. And Sachin has been his role model, and he has seen what rightly Sabha said, his preparation. Like Sachin also, when we have heard when he used to go to England, he used to practice on the near the seashore against some moving balls. So, and then he's playing on a turning wicket against Shane Warne. He practiced against leg spinners. So that preparation is very, very important. Plus, and he visualizes a lot. And definitely, the Virat, by his name, is really Virat. And I think I'm waiting for that day when he scores in 100, international 100 also. And I think that will happen. The way he has been performing and the consistency with which he has been scoring hundreds. Really great.
Well, Vika, I can only imagine what must be going outside the Wankhede Stadium at this point of time. And we have Sunil Singh outside the stadium with the fans. Let's listen to what these fans have to say and what kind of experience it has been for them.
वनडे वर्ल्ड कप का पहला सेमीफाइनल चल रहा है भारत और न्यूजीलैंड के बीच में यहाँ वानखेड़े स्टेडियम में। खेल बहुत ही रोमांचक स्थिति में है और विराट कोहली ने अभी शतक बनाया है और हम देख रहे हैं कि जिनको टिकट नहीं मिला वो लोग यहाँ पर मरीन ड्राइव के इस फुटपाथ पर बैठकर यहाँ पर देखिए एक टैब के सहारे जो है कि देख रहे हैं। कुछ नहीं मिला तो इन्होंने टैब ले लिया है और इस टैब में ये पूरा मैच देख रहे हैं और पूरा इस खेल का लुत्फ उठा रहे हैं। ये है खेल के प्रशंसक, क्रिकेट के फैन और सबके चेहरे पे खुशी है क्योंकि विराट कोहली ने शतक लगाया है और भारत जो है बिल्कुल जीत की तरफ जा रहा है क्योंकि बड़ा स्कोर एक खड़ा कर रहा है भारत। हम बात करते हैं, आप लोग ये अनोखा तरीका आप लोगों ने अपनाया है ये कि सामने स्टेडियम है वहाँ जाके मैच देखने की बजाय आप लोग यहाँ पर ये टैब में
सर हम आए थे बड़ौदा गुजरात से आए थे मैच देखने के लिए लेकिन टिकट मिला नहीं इसलिए हम लोग इधर एंजॉय कर रहे हैं।
अपना चौपाल लगा लिया आप लोगों ने बैठ गए।
हम लोग
इंडिया के लिए इतना चेयर कर रहे हैं उसके लिए इतना खुशी में ये कर रहे हैं सर। एक बार विराट कोहली सर के लिए चेयर हो जाए विराट कोहली के लिए विराट
हमारा अलग से भी काम है थोड़ा भव्य सवारी का भी लेकिन उसका अलग चार्जेस मेनू कार्ड हम लोग सेंड कर देंगे आपके चैनल पे।
अरे भाई लोग बार कोहली के लिए ताली हो जाए।
देखिए ये जज्बा है, ये आनंद लोग उठा रहे हैं और इतना खेल भावना है लोगों में भरी पड़ी खासकर क्रिकेट के प्रति कि टिकट नहीं मिला तो यहाँ पर बैठकर उन्होंने अपना डेरा जमा लिया, बैठकर देख रहे हैं और एक एक शॉट पे एक एक गेंद पे किस तरह की खुशियाँ हैं, किस तरह का जोश है और क्या देखिए ये जोश है लोगों में और ये सब आप लोग सब फैन हैं क्रिकेट के तो वहाँ क्यों नहीं विराट बस विराट सेंचुरी हो गई। दीवानगी है क्रिकेट की, जो सभी भारतीय क्रिकेट फैन के सर चढ़कर बोल रही है, और सभी को उम्मीद है कि जिस तरह का स्कोर खड़ा किया जा रहा है भारत की तरफ से, जीत पक्की है।
शमी, सिराज, बुमराह, जडेजा और रोहित शर्मा ऐसा ही टार दे रहे हैं, जबरदस्त।
60 या 70 पे औलट मारेगा न्यूजीलैंड को शमी,
सभी
सिराज, बुमराह।
सभी यहाँ क्रिकेट के विशेषज्ञ बने हुए हैं और सभी की उम्मीद नहीं, भरोसा है कि भारत की ही जीत होगी, और जोश, उमंग और खुशी देख सकते हैं लोगों के चेहरे पे।
Sabab, it is one of those occasions to celebrate. It is the Diwali week. Diwali just got over, but Virat Kohli isn't just allowing the season of celebration to get over. 80 international hundreds. He's just 20 short of his 100th hundred.
Why are we discussing that now?
No, because I just want to know.
I think it is a possibility. Yes, because.
Big possibility?
Big possibility because of his fitness and the regime that he follows. He's so strict about his diet. His work ethics have remained the same over the past so many years. That is the biggest reason why I feel with this kind of propensity to score hundreds, he can always get to that 3-figure mark of 3 figures. And it is a big possibility. It also depends because Virat has also taken breaks at the right time. So in that sense, the team management and the selectors have allowed him those kind of breaks which he needs. So which keeps him fresh and gets him raring to go. Yeah, which is perfectly fine. They need that. I think with this kind of the intensity with which he plays all the time, be it as a batter, be it as a fielder, he requires these kind of breaks so that whenever he gets onto the field, you expect the best from him. So I think. If he remains fit like this, his longevity will increase, and if that happens with this kind of consistency, I'm sure he'll get to that mark also.
Let's have a look at those pictures of celebration once again.
Well, we'll get to those pictures in just a short while from now, but I also want to ask Gautam Bhattacharya, the fact that Sabab, I just mentioned about how the management has backed Virat Kohli and helped him achieve what he has achieved in a way, achieved what he has achieved in his career. Do you also feel that credit goes to the kind of management that India has shown in terms of how they have handled their players, especially when you talk about somebody like a Shreyas Iyer, somebody like a KL Rahul, somebody like a Bumrah, and how everything has come together? Do you feel that it's kudos to the team management as well?
It's the Indian team management. I mean, one person who doesn't get spoken enough, maybe on the 19th he'll get spoken about, that's Rahul Dravid. I mean, there is a certain courage of conviction that this Indian team management shown about these guys whom you have just named. I mean, at the drop of a hat, the media had, projected, X for Y or so and so like that as a kind of ready replacement. But they always knew the virtue of bidding their time on somebody like KL Rahul, somebody like Shreyas. Bumrah, of course, is is a player who's irreplaceable. We have all seen what difference he has brought about in the Indian team. Definitely, that courage of conviction is the main thing. And then, the BCCI has got a system in place. The NC is there where they're going without making a noise. They're doing the rehab there, and they're coming back. So definitely, credit has to be given that. It's due.
Well, there's an interesting tweet that has come in from Wasim Akram. He says, "We live in the Virat Kohli era. Congratulations, Emperor." Calling him the Emperor. Sabah, we've been so long calling.
I know Wasim has got high regard for Virat Kohli, and I also feel that we are blessed to watch Virat Kohli in action. I remember those early days. There is a similarity with.
Do you think Pakistan's love for India starts with Virat Kohli? The way they have been showering affection and love all through this World Cup, the ex-Pakistani cricketers.
I think they enjoy his intensity on the field, the way he brings everything onto the table. He doesn't leave anything behind. So once the game over, he's completely drained. So that's how the love story has evolved. Not only with him, but even with Sachin Tendulkar from the day he made his debut. And I was talking about Sachin Tendulkar first 100 in Australia, first Test match 100. Virat Kohli's turnaround happened in that 100 he got in Australia. And I think the respect which Sachin Tendulkar has got for Virat Kohli is also because of that. For him to get 100 in Australia when the entire team of so-called stars of the Indian side, they struggled for the entire series. Virat Kohli came at number 5, number 6, and got a splendid 100. It was quite similar to what Sachin Tendulkar did years ago. So I think that's how this fondness has grown, and that is one of the reasons why Sachin has got a special place for Virat Kohli.
And before we go to Gursharan Singh and Gautam Bhattacharya, let's take a look at those pictures, those moments when Virat Kohli got to that century, and take a look at that celebration.
Shifting gears now. He's charging for the second. He will get the stand alone aloft on that summit. Nobody else there. What a career this is. 50.
Virat Kohli, 50 international ODI hundreds.
Absolutely incredible scenes there at the Wankhede. And I remember, Rika, the last time something this magical happened was in the 2011 World Cup final. And you were there, you were probably there at that time. I was inside the stadium watching that match, and I cannot imagine the kind of electricity that there must be inside the stadium. It would have been something else there at this point of time. Gursharan Singh, what do you feel must be going on inside that stadium among those fans who have come to watch Virat Kohli get that 50th century, and getting that 50th century inside at the Wankhede Stadium in a historic occasion? It must be something absolutely phenomenal for them.
I think all of them are very, very lucky. They will consider themselves so lucky to have watched Virat's 50th 100 in one day. And plus, they will go, whenever they go back, they will tell their family member, their friends that we were there. And I think they're really blessed to have been there in the stadium. Like many greats have come to watch this match. And it was, really their dream. And they will, for the next 10, 15 days or month, I think this inning will, they will keep on visualizing this inning, the way Virat played, and it was really, I think, one of the greatest one-day inning in a knockout and semi-final match. And I think with his inning, the score which India has put 397, and it looks very, very difficult, like impossible, I think, for New Zealand to chase this target.
Sabha, you've been saying that the target that has been set by India, 398, is impossible. But you know, India has just finished a high-octane session, I would say. How difficult is the job of Rahul Dravid and support staff at the moment to keep the players calm their nerves and prepare them for the second innings? Or does the switch happen automatically? They are just automatically back and prepared for the, next set of battle.
There is enough maturity in the side to understand what is required, Rika. Rahul Dravid, obviously he is the right person to guide them. But at times just allow the players to be themselves. They have done all the hard work before. A lot of thought goes behind the preparation, behind match simulations, what kind of strategy you have to adopt, your game plans. I think it's more important for India to understand that and try and execute it. And I think India has been a fascinating story for India's pace bowling unit, not only pace bowling, the entire bowling unit. If you look at the stats, all the three seamers from the Indian side, they've been so impeccable and precise in the line and length. Very few deliveries they have bowled down the leg side or width outside the off stump. So that's how the pressure builds up on the batters. And then you have the two spinners, wicket-taking spinners. And I think that's what they need to do when they go out to bat. When they go out to bowl, beg your pardon. I think for India to get into a position, the batters have done their job. Now it's up to the bowling unit to do well, and then for the fielders to support them. I think India's fielding, we haven't talked about them so much, but they've been right on target.
Well, one thing that we obviously have to talk about is the fact that how India has gone ahead with in the power plays, and let's get that graphics on air. India has managed to get past 60+ scores in power plays in 8 times in this World Cup. New Zealand comes second with 5. followed by Australia and England. So it tells you about the kind of starts India has been getting, and a lot of that credit goes to Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill. Gurshan Singh, I also want to talk to you about Rohit Sharma and the way that he has emerged as the captain of this Indian side. Not a long time back, people were questioning whether he should be the captain of Indian team or not. And look at what he has done in this World Cup and how he has led that team. Is it a testament of how incredible a captain and a player Rohit Sharma is?
Yeah, you can see his record in IPL. Bombay, I think they have won 5 times. Then IPL, then in one day also, T20 also. So when you criticize a great player, and Rohit is also one of the greats of Indian cricket, when you criticize, then the best, they give their best. Rohit, the way he is batting, earlier he used to take a little bit of time in the one day, in the first 10 overs, but in this World Cup, he has been leading from the front. He is taking the bowlers on, hitting them over. Like the 6 he hit of I think Trent Bolt then he demolished the attack. They had to bring Santner so early, I think in the 6th or 7th over. So then in the bowling unit also they're not able to think much when they are attacked. Like we won 85 something in 10 overs. And for all the matches, all the innings where we are scoring big, I think credit goes to Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill, especially Rohit Sharma. The way he has been, hitting the fast bowlers, spinners. So he wanted to show everyone that how they should score in 50 over, what they should follow. To attack the bowlers, play aggressive cricket, and it is really giving results.
Well, we'll have to obviously talk a little more about Rohit Sharma's contribution to this match and to the tournament overall. But before we go any further, let's listen into former Indian captain Sourav Ganguly as to how he described India's phenomenal run in this World Cup.
50 hundreds is phenomenal. Fantastic. One day record 50 hundreds is phenomenal.
Do you think this record will stay forever?
I don't know, boss. It'll take a lot of beating to beat this. So and he's still and he's not finished yet. India দারুণ খেলছে শ্রেয়াস আয়ারও তো 100 এটা জিতুক সেমিফাইনালটা জিতবে এবার ফাইনাল উইল টেক ওয়ান স্টেপ এট আ টাইম
Well, Sourav Ganguly has been calling Virat Kohli phenomenal. The captain too, the captain of the Indian cricket team, Rohit Sharma too, has been phenomenal. 51 sixes hit by him in ODI World Cups, most by a player, and he also went past Chris Gayle. Tell us a little bit about Rohit Sharma, the phenomenon.
So there are certain things which are intangible, Marika. For instance, look at the transition of Rohit Sharma from the way he batted in 2019 World Cup, the way he batted in 2015 World Cups. He had many more hundreds then. In this World Cup edition, he's got only 100, isn't it? But I think he has realized that the modern day one-day cricket is to be played in a different way altogether. So he set up a plan that India needs to bat in a very aggressive manner. And he decided because he's an opener for the side, he has to lead from the front. So that is why for him, he has forsaken and has played in such a selfless manner so that he gets India off to a very good start that has allowed the other players to fill in their roles perfectly. And I think that's the role which he has performed admirably. So as a captain, for him to understand the dynamics and the requirements of modern day cricket, it has allowed Rohit Sharma to blossom as a captain. And I think you win World Cups when you have this kind of an attitude. You need to always think ahead so that you're ahead of the opposition in terms of your tactics, in terms of your strategy. So Rohit Sharma has not only batted in that manner, but also also the kind of side which he has picked. His entire batting unit, if you see, except for Virat Kohli, whom we have discussed, has to play a very control in a sheet anchor's role. The rest of the players in the 11, or for that matter, in the 15, all of them are aggressive batters. Even Ishan Kishan now waiting in the wings, he is also an aggressive batter. And on top of that, look at the bowling attack that he has picked. He's got 2 quality wicket-taking spinners. On top of that, he has got 3 top quality seam bowlers, all wicket-taking bowlers. So he has that cushion of utilizing all these bowlers whenever it is required. So whenever the pressure builds up in terms of a partnership, he can rotate his bowlers. He can bring in spinner, he can bring in a pace bowler who can get the desired result for him. So I think all that has happened because the kind of vision which Rohit Sharma along with Rahul Dravid have conjured for this World Cup. And I think finally for India, all that is coming true at the right time.
Sabah, 2019, when India got out of the World Cup in Manchester after that semi-final, Rohit Sharma wasn't the leader of the pack. It was MS Dhoni still at the helm. Then came in Virat Kohli. So probably he has been able to crystallize everything in the last 1.5 years. Given the timeline that he has had, because I think in the last 5 years since 2019, India must have used around 50 players to test who plays the format the best. But Rohit Sharma as a captain wouldn't have got more than 1.5 years to plan. Given the timeline he has had, how impeccable has been his role in terms of shaping this whole campaign?
One of the biggest reason why India is at this stage is because this is Rohit's side.
Yeah.
Rahul Dravid is there to help him. Even there were occasions when Rohit Sharma was not fit and he wasn't available for the side, but he's always been in constant communication, not only with the selectors, along with the team management and also the players. So imagine someone like Shreyas Iyer who's out due to injury, getting a call from the captain Rohit Sharma, hey, listen, don't worry, I'm there for you. So as soon as you get fit, get match fit, we'll get you back in the side. Same with Jasprit Bumrah, same with KL Rahul. For Rohit Sharma to back his players whom he felt that they will be a match winner for him in the World Cup, that speaks highly of his leadership. And I think that's what Rohit Sharma has done. And you're right when you say that Rohit Sharma hasn't had enough time to build this side, but for him to do that in a short span of time has been remarkable. And I think Rohit has come to the fore from the day he transitioned from a white ball player to a red ball player. So then, accordingly, he has earned respect in the dressing room and has got his own style of leading the side. It is so different from MS Dhoni and so different from Virat Kohli.
Yeah.
And I think he puts everybody in the side, in the dressing room.
Very different from the man you just saw.
In a very relaxed manner. And I think that has helped all these players to grow.
And
in fact also
basically he's assimilated all energies in the dressing room.
We are in fact also joined by Vijay Dahiya, the other half of the Wicket Keepers Union on NDTV. Vijay bhai, what a fantastic day for Indian cricket. Virat Kohli reaching his 50th ODI ton.
You've been avoiding me because you know what happens when 2 wicket keepers are around you.
We can never avoid you, Vijay.
Now the Indian team also requires 2 keepers all the time.
Yes, yes.
And few more in the support staff.
Yeah.
Phenomenal is the word. And we just talk not only about this 100. I mean, I'm sure you guys must have talked about his fitness. You must have talked about his running between the wicket. But the game sense. I mean, it's one thing that you get a start, and what do you do after that? It's his thinking is phenomenal at the moment, and the way his game sense. One thing is called game plan. The other thing is game sense. And game plan is before the game, and game sense when you in the middle of the game. And I think that's what makes him even more special.
Vijay, we'll also have to speak to you about Shreyas Iyer, his 100, coming at a time when there have been a lot of question mark on his performance, the way he got out in the initial few matches. Talk to us a little bit about his transition and the way how he has molded himself for this knock.
I think he's not molded himself. I think people get used to it that this is the kind of guy who's going to play like that. Now speak to him in this manner. There are few players, you have to back them up. There are few players, you have to give them confidence in certain way and say, all right, you back yourself like that, but how about you take first 15, 20 balls and then you back yourself. You know, there are certain players who are playing at that level. Rika, you don't need coaching at that level. You need man management. You need to try and understand people, which button to press, how are these guys going to click for you? Because as far as the skills is concerned, it's very much there. It's evident that you can see in a couple of shots. It's the mindset. How do you make that guy play more consistently? How he can showcase what he's got? And I think that's where the support staff come into the picture. And this is what we are seeing. And he's also somebody, you know, if everything stays okay with him, and I'm not talking about fitness-wise, I'm not talking about his back, I'm not talking about his shin or his knee, I'm talking about the top. If everything stays, if he's in control, I think he's another guy who will break so many records. He's also special. He gives you that impression. Shubman Gill, him, and there'll be a very healthy competition as far as batting is concerned in this dressing room, which is always a very encouraging side for you to do well.
Sabah, Shubman Gill's injury, what did it look to you? He'll be fit if India reaches the final,
I think
right?
he came back to bat,
He came back,
which means that he's fit. But for a youngster like him, he's supremely fit. For him to cramp like that, which means it was very humid out there. Even Virat Kohli, that one moment, you know, held his leg. But hopefully, I think he should be fine. And I think India would require. I mean, for India to reach the final, they need to win this game. But I think hopefully India should be fit and ready to go even for the finals. But this has been a remarkable journey for India, and I hope the journey does not end. It continues, and
till
hopefully
19th.
Till the 19th.
It ends with the trophy in hands on 19th.
After so many years of wait, I think India is in a strong position to win this, and I think India can jolly well go on to dominate not only the semi-final but also the final, the way India has performed so far.
Vijay bhai want to say something.
Shubman missed the first half. He's not going to miss the last.
Yes, very important. He missed the first half because of dengue. But, you know, on the topic of Shreyas Iyer and, you know, Gautam, this must be extra special for him, given that it has come on his home turf of Wankhede with his family watching, friends watching out there. I don't know, you know, how many phone calls he has had to attend to give out tickets.
It is very much the Mumbai club. Whenever there is an issue, he often keeps the brains of somebody like a Praveen Amre, like that. So definitely, it's you know, getting 100 big occasion like this on his home turf is special. I mean, for that matter, it has also become Virat's home city. So you know, this double joy for the Mumbai crowd to.
Absolutely, and it's not just the Mumbai crowd. We've been talking to some of the fans who have flown in from across the globe. Some have come from the US, some have come from the UK, and you know, really they have all packed. They have all packed Wankhede in a sea of blue.
Well, it does look like a sea of blue every time India goes out to play in this, and it has looked like it every time India has played in this World Cup, right from the first match that India played till now. And I just feel that that sea of blue is going to, it basically is going to grow out of that stadium and onto the streets, because the way India is playing at this moment, it just feels like it's one more step before we reach the final and another step before we lift that trophy on the 19th. Gurcharan Singh, I also want to get a sense of the fact that we were talking about Shreyas Iyer, we were talking about Shubman Gill. How do you see KL Rahul's role in this lineup? Because he came in, batted well again, scored quick-fire runs for India, and especially at a time when you needed that. So his role in this team, it also has added a lot of value to the Indian batting lineup.
Yes, definitely. I think it started in the first match. When we were 3 down and KL played an outstanding knock of 97 runs. And in this inning also, I think he scored 39 of just 20 balls. The way he has been batting, he is exceptionally well. He doesn't take much time to get settled down, because the number at which he is coming, number 5, he has got few overs to play. And in that few overs, the strike rate which he is maintaining is really incredible. And it's a really great first 5 batsmen. All have been performing exceptionally well. And for that, and I'm very happy for Shreyas Iyer also. This is his second 100 in 2 matches. And he has been playing exceptionally well. And KL Rahul, yeah, it has given more consistent See, plus when he is coming at number 5, all the other players, they can play more freely and more positively. Yeah.
Well, it is a mountain of runs ahead of the Kiwis. 398 runs is how much they have to score if they are to win this World Cup semi-final against India. Vijay has said it's impossible. Gursharan has said it is impossible. Sabah has said it's impossible. Vijay, let's
listen from Vijay bhai, because he makes really
he said
he makes really
said
problematic
60-40
predictions. I must tell you.
I left it there. I didn't play that. No, first thing first, I wanted to say, Gautam ji has said that, Virat is a Mumbai. The other day, people were talking about Bangalore boy. Kushpaji, come into the picture. What's happening to our Delhi boy? Everybody's taking him away, huh?
He's a Delhi boy. He's a boy.
We'll all claim as his. We'll all claim him as our own.
I want to bring it India now. He belongs to the country.
Yeah.
He's an India boy. Come on.
Here comes Sabah, gathering it right in the middle.
Just like KL Rahul. People don't talk about his keeping skills. He's been brilliant behind the stumps. His glove work has been superb. Down the leg side collections. His catch of Virat Kohli before that. His grab against the pace bowler down the leg side. The left-handed grab. It was superb display by KL Rahul. I think he's been such a stable force for India. He brings in substance. He brings in stability to the India while batting. And he's been such an important member of the side in terms of decision making for DRS. Rohit Sharma always looks at KL Rahul and he has a very calm kind of an exterior and he says, okay, let's go for it, let's not go for it. Even when someone like Ravindra Jadeja appeals, he still says, no, let's not take it.
Absolutely, and it's not easy.
The last time Vijay bhai gave me a really hard time when I did not mention KL Rahul's name in my intro. Here you are, Vijay bhai. KL Rahul, we are talking about him and what a phenomenal work that he has done behind the stumps as well as with his batting. How do you rate him in this particular World Cup, the kind of value that he has brought to this team?
Sama, what I'm enjoying at the moment is that we're talking about individually, we're talking about top 5 batsmen. Just word of praise, one by one. We talk about top 5 bowlers, word of praise. I mean, when was the last time